man. I'm not stalking you. I'm too fucking busy for that shit.
Hello, hello, hello. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I got this dude recommended in my shorts this morning. The first video I saw was him walking into the Mount Vernon Police Department and just like being really rude to a clerk. So I went over and checked out his profile, and he has this playlist that's 27 videos long called Custody Battle, Parental Interference, and I think this guy is earnestly trying to help his case by documenting that no one's helping him, and it's really just making it worse.
Hey, what are you doing here, Kyle? So what are you doing here? You do know Jenny and I have a parenting plan that says no male friends here, right? Oh, yeah, look at that. Hey, Jen, should I call the cops or do you want to come out and talk like an adult? Why are you breaking the order, Jen? I've got it on video now. Please come out and talk.
I don't really know the whole situation, but it seems like Kyle does not care about your custody agreement.
Jennifer, are you going to come talk? Or do I need to file contempt? Jennifer.
The looking in the windows is a real
Jennifer.
nice touch.
Sorry, I'm recording because
Okay.
public
That's fine.
public access way.
It goes right into talking to the cop.
I got you. So I am as well, and this is not a public access way. This is
Thank you for
property.
having cameras finally. About time your guys' apartment got them.
Yeah. So I don't have
But your
any.
records can go missing, mine won't.
Okay. I got
So-
you.
All right, an immediate distrust for the police.
So Dylan, this isn't the way to help your case out, man.
Well, here's the thing.
Do you have a lawyer?
No, I do not. But here's the thing. She literally just texted me saying she was going to call me to talk about what's the plan is with my son this weekend, because I don't know if I'm getting him tomorrow. I don't know if I'm getting him Saturday. We're supposed to plan 24 hours in advance.
Okay.
I'm trying to plan that ahead.
I get that, man.
She hasn't talked to me all day because she was at work.
Okay.
And now I come here because she said she was going to talk to me and then hasn't contacted me. And when I try to contact her, she refuses. All she told me was she's outside working on her weeds. You can see she's been outside working on the weeds.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I come here because she told me she was
Okay.
working outside and wasn't messaging me.
Okay.
As soon as
So she hasn't messaged him all day long because she was at work. Reasonable. She said, I'm not going to talk to you right now because I'm working outside in the weeds. And then she didn't respond. And he decided, well, I'm going to go ahead and pull up. Maybe that's why Kyle was upset when he got there.
soon as I get here, I see there's another male here, a friend of hers by the name of Kyle,
I got you. That's
which
not,
is
that's-
against the order.
That's not illegal for her to do.
It is against the order for her to have
the-
another male.
The civil,
He said it's not illegal. And he's like, but against the order.
the civil custody order.
The part of the
The
parenting
civil custody order.
part of the
yes.
parenting part of the parenting
Yes.
plan says another male cannot be here for at least 6
Which
months
is a
for
civil,
the
right, but that's a
relationship
civil-
health
but that's a- but
conditions
that's a
as far as the
civil- but
son
But that's a
goes.
civil custody order, Dylan.
That
that's
is
not-
part. No, that was part of
that's-
our parenting
Right,
plan.
I'm just explaining that I can't enforce any parts of that.
Okay.
Because it's a
So
civil,
you're
so
here-
It's a civil.
Yeah,
No,
it's a
because
civil issue right now. So why are you here for a civil issue?
Because she called about you out here,
Because she
just
told me
standing out
she
in the
wanted to
alleyway.
talk about our son.
Dylan.
So she's setting this incident up right now. She called me here to talk about our son. I'm here to talk about our son. As soon as I get here, there's
Well,
another
Dylan-
male here and she's
Dylan-
calling you.
Well, Dylan,
How does that
listen,
look?
Dylan, listen.
No, you listen to me.
Dylan,
You're here.
I don't know who is being chill and who is not being chill in the situation. However, I think if she ignored you all day and then you showed up to her house and dude was like, nah, you're not talking to her, and then the cops show up, it might be a good sign that she was not trying to talk to you today.
Here.
Dylan, I've been listening to you. Now listen to what I have to say.
Excuse me, sir. Hold
Dylan.
up your oath and
Dylan.
perform your duties like a
Dylan.
professional. You do not
Dylan,
raise your
listen.
voice to the public.
Dylan,
You are a civil
Dylan.
servant, and I
Dylan.
will raise my voice right back at you because I am
Dylan.
done having you guys violate my fucking rights.
Dylan, I'm not violating your rights. I'm trying to get you to
Then
listen to
do
what I
not
have to
raise
say.
your voice at me. You
Dylan,
said you
I'm trying
cannot
to-
interfere
Dylan,
in a
Raising your voice at me is violating my rights.
I'm
civil
trying to-
dispute.
Dylan,
This
Dylan,
is a civil dispute.
Dylan, I'm trying to talk to you and you keep talking over me, man. That's
No,
why I
you're
had
trying to
raise my
cop
voice.
explain to me.
I'm not doing that. I'm trying to explain how it is. Okay?
Okay,
This-
did I not tell you what's going on?
You did.
She called me over
You
to
did.
talk about
Dylan.
what's going on with my
Dylan.
son. Here I am to talk about my son. Here's
I
what
know,
she's
Dylan,
doing.
I know.
So
I know.
what? So what problem do you
she
have with
called-
me? She
Dylan.
called. So why are you not talking to
Dylan.
her?
She-
Why are
because-
you not
because-
talking to her if
because-
she called?
Because right now you're
You're here
standing
to
up
perform an investigation.
Yes.
Go talk to the
Okay,
per
well,
caller.
I'm not going to do that while you're standing.
Okay,
I'm
I
not
will
gonna
take
do
a few
that.
steps over here. I will take a few steps
No,
over
no,
here.
it needs
Let
to
me
be
grab
further-
my
it needs to
board.
be further that way.
I will take a few steps over here, and I will.
Dylan came over on his skateboard to come talk about his parental rights.
Stand right here, right in front of this board. Does that work? You can contact her. I will stand right here.
Ridiculous. But yet she claims to want what's best for our son, but yet she's willing to tear our family apart, and her someone she supposedly cares about refuses to communicate and does this. This isn't what's best for our son. I'm sorry. This is not.
I wonder how it feels from the point of view of the son knowing that dad's just outside causing a ruckus.
Not even close.
I know sometimes that parents will use their kids as weapons, but you really should not be acting a fool around the kids at all. The fact that the mom is keeping him away for whatever reason is not great, and also the fact that he's out here just, like, lingering around the property, causing everyone stress is not great either. I really wish people wouldn't do this. It's not like, regardless of whatever petty thing you have going on with your partner, it's not good for the kid at all, and that's usually not a thought that's even considered in the minds of these people because they're using it as a weapon to hurt the other person.
All right. Hey, I had a look at. She had a copy of the parenting plan and everything in there.
Mm-hmm.
I did look for the language you were talking about with respect to the other guy and stuff in there. I didn't see it in that specific copy of the parenting plan.
Okay, but the copy you do see says she's supposed
so-
to have him over at my place right now, and if you notice the time, he's not at my place, is he? He's here.
I hear that.
So
Dylan.
that alone is
So Dylan.
contempt right there.
Okay.
That alone is enough for you to literally take her right now
No,
on the spot.
It's not. It's a civil court order. We can't enforce those
So why are you here on a civil dispute then?
because
He already said he's there because she called because you're lingering outside the property. He's not there because you're having a civil dispute. He's there because you're being a creep.
called here for a possible domestic dispute. We're trying to figure that out.
She never asked me to leave.
Okay. So Dylan,
She told me she wanted to talk about this weekend plans with my son because it's 4th of July and my birthday, and I'm supposed to have him.
I hear you, man. But now's not the right time for it. Tomorrow might be a better time to do it. Okay.
Okay, so she
No,
has.
I get it, man. And listen, dude, if she's in contempt of court, that's on her. That's not on you. Don't put yourself in contempt of court or anything like
I'm
that.
not putting myself in contempt
know.
by being here. I'm
Dylan,
here to
listen.
talk about our
I
son
hear
because
you.
she told me
Dylan,
she wanted to.
Dylan, I hear you, dude. I absolutely hear you. Okay, but this isn't the way to do it. You know how these freaking parenting plans work, right?
No,
got
this
it.
is my first time.
It is?
She got this because we had a similar thing where she was basically wanting to split up our family and break up with me because she had an interaction with another guy named Tyler, who lives in another state, and he was here visiting, and I have a feeling she did things with him, and she broke up with me to prevent
That should be a clear sign to stop lingering around.
from hurting me, because if we're not together, it's not cheating, right? Same thing I feel that's going on here, because why else would another guy be here?
I don't know.
During a time when her mom's not home. Clearly this
So she tried to break up with you twice now and has had 2 other dudes around. I don't think you should be trying so hard to come around. I realize there's whatever custody shit, but I feel like there's a little bit more to this.
this interaction is taking place right now during a time when her mom's supposed to be home soon. So now her mom's going to come here and see this other guy's here. And her mom also knows about the parenting plan, and her mom also knows other guys aren't supposed to be around.
So let me tell you, because I've dealt with a lot of parenting plans in my time in law enforcement, and everything like that. Dude, listen, the best thing that you can do is not doing. You know, I get it. I get you're frustrated and everything like that. I absolutely get it, especially because if you want to see your kid, there shouldn't be anything holding you back from being able to see your kid, right? But obviously, parents.
What's holding me back is what's going on.
I'm
Like,
saying,
so this all started.
Obviously, not all parents are reasonable.
I
right?
get that. And this all started literally from a misunderstanding, just like what happened with my ex, which I know you know about that. I know you know that was a misunderstanding. So everything that followed, I know you know is bullshit. I don't know why your department still decided to try to do what it did, but you know it's bullshit.
I don't know, man.
A reoccurring theme in this is it's the police department's fault that he is not able to see his son. The police department will not go with every single thing he has to say with them, and he's quite rude to them later on. And like, I understand having a dislike or distrust of them. However, if you want something, you got to kind of play nice.
Man,
Just throwing it out there.
Okay.
Same thing here. What happened was we had planned to spend time like 3 weeks ago. She spent part of the day with me, then had this same friend, Kyle, drive her to Walmart after literally sending me to Walmart to get stuff for a different meal that she at first didn't even want, and now all of a sudden wanted as soon as she got there. So she sent me out for errands, then went out for errands herself. We didn't get to spend that day together. The next day, Saturday, we were also supposed to spend together. She dumped me to go with the same friend, Kyle, all the way down to Everett randomly. So that
Oh no, he got ghosted for Kyle.
hurt me. And then when I tried to tell her, she all of a sudden doesn't want to talk about it. Calls me a dickish, refuses to speak to me, anything like that. Then I told her, okay, I'll just give you your space. And then she gets upset at me for giving her space. And then now all of a sudden it's turned into this because of the fact that she hasn't communicated with me. She thought I didn't want to deal with her.
I got you, and that's why I'm saying.
If she is not communicating with you and is not making an effort to communicate with you, even though you're trying to communicate with her, I think you should like back off a little bit.
If she wants to be in contempt,
And now,
of the,
so she's using my son
Right,
against
but
me,
listen,
and then
but
he
if
wants
she-
to
but
call
if
you
she-
guys
but if she,
constantly.
right, but listen, if she wants to be in contempt of the parenting plan and everything like that, guess what? That gives you all the more power to go in front of a judge and get the parenting plan revised.
No,
and
you're
everything
not
like that.
understanding that part, though. I get the whole parenting plan.
This guy is being so patient. He could have just told him, like, you have to leave the property multiple times and gone ahead and arrested him for trespassing, but he's very patiently trying to explain it to him.
But right now, this is more along the lines of, here's the thing. She got confused. She got misunderstood. Okay, no problem. We partially got that sorted. But here's where the real thing kicks in. Why sit there and say she's in a relationship with me, keep running off with this guy, have this guy over, especially around my son? Why sit there and invite me over to talk about my son?
I don't know.
And then turn around and call you guys? And this isn't the first time. She literally had Officer Layton here the other day for the exact same thing because she wanted to talk about my son. I came over to talk about the son because she wouldn't talk over text or voice or whatever.
And
she called him.
Here's what you guys got it. You need to do. So I know you and your mom.
That's a mental health thing. Serve and protect, man.
So Dylan, I know you and your mom have you've been working on the whole parenting plan thing as well, correct?
My mom
Right,
mainly
no,
has because I'd prefer to avoid all this.
No, I know, man.
The thing is,
It's hard to claim that you prefer to avoid all this if you're standing outside her house multiple hours later after you showed up talking to police that she called because you won't leave.
don't even want to put.
Because she has a second set of eyes that can look at stuff as well, right?
The thing is, she's putting me into a position where I'm gonna have to do contempt. But the thing is, like, I don't want to. I keep trying to make this clear. She's doing this all on her own. I'm just trying to protect her and keep this family together.
I hear you.
That's all I want to do. I want what's best
He's trying to protect her from Kyle, and he's got to keep this family together.
for my son, and this
And
isn't what's best for him.
100% understand that. And listen, this isn't the way, though, man. The way, if she's gonna keep playing games like this and everything with you, then you need to take her back to court.
Can you
need to get that freaking parenting plan.
I'm more
revised,
than
man.
happy to leave. She hasn't asked me to. I am more than happy to leave. I came over to talk about my son. Clearly, she doesn't want to. She called you guys. The only reason why I say it is because I saw her get on the phone and start trying to call you guys. I had a feeling, obviously, leaving is going to make me look like the bad guy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. So I say because I knew she
Leaving is gonna make him look like a bad guy. They called the police because you won't leave. Leaving is the only good option at this point in time.
called you guys. But now you're here. You know what's going on. You've heard both sides. You've seen the court order. You've seen she hasn't. You see, he's supposed to technically be in my car right now, but he's not.
But and
So here's what I would like for you to do.
what's up?
as part of your civil duties, I know you can't do anything as far as the parenting plan goes or anything, but you can at least advise her of the law. So I would like you to at least convey to her, since I know you can't do anything for domestic, please at least convey to her, and I will be more than happy to leave, but just convey to her.
I would like you to tell her that she's wrong and I'm right, and then I'll go home.
That I don't want any of this. I'm not trying to cause issues. I came over because she said she wanted to talk. That is it. If she doesn't, but if she's going to force my hand, I will push through with contempt and stuff, but make sure she knows I don't want to do that. I will let her know I'm just trying to protect the family. I don't want issues.
I know, Dylan. And
thank you.
I will make sure, and listen, I'll make sure she knows about that. And listen, if she wants to have the issues with contempt and everything like that, dude, it just gives you more ammo in front of the court.
You're here as witness alone. I have video evidence right here. You can prove she's in contempt right now.
As do I. Let me get you my card. This is all documented and everything like that too. Okay. So you guys can make a public disclosure request and everything like that. But what I would do, man, is as soon as you can, get in front of the judge, get the parenting plan revised. And another thing that I always tell people because obviously this stuff isn't working, especially if she's going to, right?
She's doing the same thing my last ex did, man. She just cuts me off and doesn't tell me anything, right. And now there's a kid involved this time.
But if she's going to play games with you and stuff like that, man, then don't put it on her turf.
I'm not trying.
No. Listen. I'm saying that what you guys probably need to do is try to talk to a lawyer or the court about, okay, part of this parenting plan needs to be a
working through my mom, who's acting as a mediator right now, but my mom's out camping and is currently asleep right now. So
I got you. But what I would do is
my mommy couldn't talk to her for me, so I'm standing outside her house.
A provision that you guys need to probably want to add on to there, because it might solve some of this stuff here, is saying, look, when we do a custody transfer, just because of how volatile that these men in the past and police have been called and everything like that, maybe we need to have the custody transfer itself in a more neutral location, like at the courthouse or the police department or something like that. That way, if some crap goes down.
I have a Ring video doorbell on my apartment. We've been doing that, but that's also proof that she's in contempt, because it shows that she hasn't been bringing him over at the specified times.
Right.
He's supposed to.
There's a nice doorbell video coming up. I think it's the next one, where Kyle puts out a cigarette in the plant on his porch and then rings the doorbell and walks away.
Be over today, as far as I'm aware, for the current order from 1 to 11, but because her schedule's changed, we're trying to work around that right now. So as far as I'm aware, she was going to drop him off from 2 to 7 today, but never did. And she's again refusing to talk, but yeah, I'm supposed to have him this weekend, and she just said she wanted to discuss a drop-off time or pickup time, or that's why I'm here. Like I said, so
no,
it's
and I get that, man. And hey, if when I'm walking into a situation and stuff like that, I don't know what I'm always walking into, right? So you and I might have had a little bit of a misunderstanding there in the beginning. Okay, I apologize if I raised your voice. It was just because I wanted to try to get information to you. Okay, that's it. I wasn't trying to be a jerk or anything like that, man. I just wanted to be able to relay the information to you that I needed to relay, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
So
I understand that. I have no problem with that. I apologize for raising my voice too, but
I appreciate that.
You got to keep in mind. I mean,
I get that.
It is a job. I understand it comes with tough duties, but
I get
it. Professionalism, man.
Yeah. No. And the only reason I did that is
professionalism. Because, you got to do what I say.
Something to someone and they're not listening, I need to try to say something to them. So
and I apologize.
That's it. And I wasn't. Yeah, and I wasn't trying to be a jerk to you or anything like that, or come across as unprofessional or anything like that. It's just, hey, when I got to say something and someone's not letting me say something, I got to try to say it, right?
Well, at first, like I said, kind of confusing there, because you said you can't do civil duties or civil stuff, and this is civil, so it's like
right. But understanding the reason I'm here, right, is that, hey, we don't, when we get dispatched and stuff, we don't always know what it's going to be. We don't know if when we show up, it's going to be civil.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to explain to you, because she told me she wanted to talk. So that's why I'm here.
Or if I show up and someone's been assaulted or worse or something like that. So, we don't know what we're always walking into. So that's kind of provides you a little bit of context.
Kyle's so cool, man. He just ding-dong ditched him.
Hi. Please wait. It may take me a moment to answer.
Apparently, this is how we spend tax dollars, taking personal phone calls instead of helping out civilians in need.
Damn, she doesn't want to talk so bad she turned her back.
Hi. Can I get some help, please?
I'm happy to help you. Tell me what
I'd
you
like
need.
to report Commissioner Shand, please.
You'd like to what?
Make a report against Commissioner Shand,
So
please.
those are done through the Judicial Board of Ethics. Do you want me to get you a website?
I was told to make a report to Catherine Davies.
You can if you want, but if you're asking,
May I speak with her then, please?
yes, I'll get it for you.
Thank you.
She's like, hell yeah, you can talk to her. I don't want to do this.
That easy, ma'am. All you had to do.
Sassy, man. She wasn't even bothering him at all.
See how simply she had it. Do you see how simply she handed that, ma'am? I don't need excuses. Do you see how simply she handed that, ma'am? Are you filibustering? Are you filibustering?
Filibustering, sir?
That's all I asked her for, and she chose to sit there and take a personal phone call inside the glass door shut. Okay, now this is on recorded, and I can send this to the Attorney General's Office of Washington State.
Okay, so you're getting the help you're receiving. Okay, so if you want, you can take a seat.
That's all I asked for.
They'll come
Thank
out
you.
and help you. Okay.
Police Conspire Against Autistic Person Part 1 is an amazing title.
Civil matter, you have the messages showing her to tell me to take her to court, which is her threats under RCW 9A 406.
That's not a threat. It's her legal right to take you to court.
I want to take a moment to appreciate this man's stance. I'm glad this is a body cam and not a recording. I hadn't seen his whole demeanor while he was talking to him yet.
Tell me to take me to court if I want to see my son again?
Yeah, it's not a threat. It's illegal.
That's blackmail. That's extortion.
No,
Do this or you cannot see your child again. What legal right does she have to keep me from my child without a valid court order at the time?
Yeah.
None. Correct?
So parenting plans are civil. We're not going to deal with
There was no parenting plan at the time.
Okay.
This was last year originally that I first reported this issue, and you guys failed to do anything back then.
Yeah.
He really does.
We've been talking to you about this for the last week, Dylan.
So why have you guys not done anything for it for the past year?
Well,
The past
Well,
year.
what?
it's
Well, what? No excuse, can you?
all right, don't yell.
Stop trying to cosplay.
We're not going to talk
No,
to
you can't tell me not to yell because I have every right to fucking yell. I have every right to be pissed off. I have every right to be firm and vocal with my tone. And you do not get to boss me around as a civil fucking servant.
Have a good
You
day.
can sit there and
Period.
take it.
We're leaving.
Goodbye then.
Goodbye.
You can leave. I'm still talking with you.
No, he's not. You're
He
gone.
is not done.
Yeah. He's
No, he's on this
Still-
call originally. I'm
Still,
not done with him. You
Have a
interjected.
good day.
You can leave, Officer Chatty.
You can go.
I'm not done with him.
Not. Have a good day.
Officer, I'm not done talking with you yet.
Okay. I told you that it's civil.
Back
It's
the
a court
fuck off.
order. He's not going to talk
Back
to you.
the fuck off.
No, he's not. Gonna
Back the fuck off.
You're going to be. Go.
You're invading my space right now.
Because
Back
you won't
the
leave
fuck
them
off.
alone.
Hello, I have clear distance here. Look at how you got in my fucking bubble. If I reach out a full arm's length, I can touch you, correct? So you're in my fucking space. Do not get in my fucking space. Back the fuck off.
Don't spit on me.
Back the fuck off. I'm not
anywhere.
spitting on you. I'm talking. If you're in my face and my spit's getting on you from me speaking, that's your own fucking fault for getting in my fucking face now, isn't it?
Have a good day,
Back the fuck off.
I'm not going
I'm
anywhere.
standing right here until you back the fuck off. Back the fuck off.
Have a good day.
This man is very passionate about this situation.
Back the fuck off.
See you later, Dylan.
That definitely looks like the police conspiring against an autist to me. I don't know about you guys. They're the best in the business, man.
I'm reporting a crime.
You've
If
reported
you guys-
that crime, it's been investigated multiple times by multiple officers, okay? So now you can leave. You've provided your information.
So no, because you sat there and just told me though that it's not a crime. So I want to hear how it's not a crime when
Let's
I've
go
given you
outside.
the proof.
Go outside so this guy
No, I
can do
want
his business.
He can do his business.
He can't hear over you yelling and screaming,
Well, how
along with everybody else. So
you
walk
want me to keep my
outside.
tone in check, but yet you expect me to sit there and give you that
Dylan,
respect when you
walk
can't even give me the
outside.
respect of actually following through.
Okay, I'm gonna go outside. If you come out here, then I'll talk to you about your dang thing. I've already talked to you about multiple times.
This guy is really being so rude to them, even though they can do literally nothing to help him.
I'm ready to.
Yep.
So you're going to tell me, as an autistic person, I'm going to be disrupted for being in a public place, simply talking, asking to speak with your chief because you're refusing to enforce the law when it comes to my parenting plan, and you're refusing to uphold the custodial interference felony charge.
That was a hell of a run-on sentence. A 17-second intro.
This is a public building. I do not have any reason to leave. You have no lawful authority to ask me to leave.
Those are the options. So you can talk to Officer Robinson.
This cop is like Riz facing him. I don't know what's going on here.
Outside about your complaint.
You're the sergeant here. You have the highest authority. I mean, look at this. 4 officers to talk to one autistic person because he's a little Tony, because he can't control his tone, because he's frustrated, because of the fact that you guys aren't doing your jobs.
Why are you guys being mean to me? You're not doing your job. You're not doing exactly what I tell you to do.
I will grab my computer. We can go over your cases together. I would like to do that. Please don't put me in a situation where we have to make that arrest. I would like to.
You already put yourselves in this situation. This is going to go up online. Look at this. 4 officers because you guys don't want to do your job. I came here.
You guys better be shaking in your boots. I'm going to post this on YouTube.
To report a crime. Custodial interference in the 1st degree. A Class C felony because my ex has not been following her parenting plan. What are you guys doing? We're not going to do it. Take it up in court. I've tried that. Take it up to the prosecutor. I've tried that. Obviously, your prosecutors declined. Obviously, the courts keep telling me to come here. You guys keep playing the same roundhouse games. You guys have all the legal authority to go
This guy in the back is so done with this. He's not even involved.
Down there, arrest her, and get me time with my son. Are you guys going to do that?
I'm willing to listen. I have not heard what your report is today. Okay. All our conversations.
Okay, you know what my report is, Officer Robinson. My parenting plan says I am supposed to have my son today. Today is Thursday. It is between the hours of 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. Look at the clock right over there. Okay, what does my parenting plan say?
I don't have your parenting plan in front of me right now.
What does that do about the goddamn situation?
I've tried to explain. So, listen, that might change. That's all I'm trying to say to you.
Cop-splaining is not really helping the situation. I have asked you plenty of times what is being done about the situation, and all you keep answering is on how I need to talk calmly. What does that do about the goddamn situation?
I think this guy's name is Dylan. He is having custodial issues with his ex-girlfriend, and he is very mad at the Mount Vernon Police Department about it.
I tried to explain. So, listen. Yes, we've sent everything to prosecutor, okay? They said they're going to decline. You are not being singled out in the situation. It is common practice with these sort of situations.
I'm waiting for the zoom in on that guy so I can zoom in on him further.
Really? So why are you guys
Dylan,
officers?
this is the
I'm
problem.
not. Hang on. No, hang on.
Problem.
Yeah, I'm going to cut you off because you said I'm not being singled out. But yet, half of your guys' department sat there and said, if I keep my son like she's doing to me, I would be arrested.
What?
Yeah. If I do the same thing she's doing to me right now, I would be arrested according to all your guys' officers.
Dylan, let me ask you this.
She can drive by my apartment. I've got an order against her saying no defamation. She sat there defaming me.
Dylan,
your guys' officers declined to charge. Your prosecutor declined to charge.
This is the problem. I'm trying to ask you a question relating to what you're talking about. Have you ever been charged with custodial interference? Have you ever been charged with that specific crime?
No, because I've not actually kept my kid like she's doing.
Okay.
But I said if I did what she's doing, and I've used the if term, what if I did what she's doing? Your guys' officers have said plenty of times, then you will be arrested. You yourself have said it, Officer Robinson.
Because
half of the department means the thoughts that he's had about what could be legal and what could be illegal.
There's a court order between you two.
There's also a court order against her. There's also a parenting plan. Okay. All signed in same day. So what overrides what? What trumps what? If the parenting plan is actually overrides the RO. Did you know that?
The RO, what are you talking about?
The restraining order. Parenting plans override restraining orders when it comes to...
Okay, so I didn't know that before. There's a restraining order, so he can't even be there. That's why she wasn't talking to him when he showed up at the house.
Having the kids involved.
And I just explained about how the police department handles those.
So you have a woman committing a felony and a gross misdemeanor at the same time for over a year, and nothing has been done. You have me coming in here, calling, filing reports, going to court constantly for 2 fucking years. What has been done? Have I still gotten a chance to see my son?
I don't know.
Is my son here?
If you want to make a formal complaint,
I've attempted to. What has been done about those formal complaints? What about Officer Ocampo? What about the formal complaint against him? What is being done about his lack of investigation and his violation of my 14th Amendment? What about Officer McClowery? What has been done about him? What about Officer Ely? What's been done about him? What about Officer Pash? What's been done about him? What about Sergeant Martinez? What's been done about him? How many formal complaints have I actually done? Nothing's actually been done against any of those officers. So you want to talk to me about doing a formal complaint? I've tried. Nothing's been done. It doesn't do shit. Your guys' department is shit. You guys obviously don't enforce the fucking law.
This is most definitely the way to get the help. You got to go in there and you got to tell them that the department doesn't do shit. They don't do their job, and that is going to make them help you and do whatever you say.
talk respectfully. We'll talk on the phone or outside, but not in the building anymore.
Cool. Let's walk outside. Let's go. I've tried so many times to talk to you. I will take you up on that offer, by the way. If you're still offering one.
Take one for later, too. You got a lighter?
I do not have a lighter. I just
Oh, I'll smoke one with the other.
appreciate it.
Oh, the random dude staring at the ceiling is gonna go smoke a cowboy killer with him. Andrew, I am not the woman in my
Oh, no, I'm
profile
well aware.
picture.
And demeanor is everything, right?
Please stop emailing me
They
sexually.
can usually just arrest you for disorderly.
No, I want to keep talking. Because I'm still wondering what's being done about the fact of me not getting to see my son, even though there's been plenty of court orders.
They're not going to let you talk when you're in jail, so don't let them do that.
They can't put me in jail.
They could do whatever they want.
Oh, they can try, but they know for a fact they'd sue. And also, there's the thing about Bad Elk versus United States, which states any unlawful arrest can be met with equal force back. So if the moment these guys try to even go hands-on, I can go right back to hands-on. The more force they use against me, the more force I can use against them. Isn't that right, Officer Robinson? No, not you, but several of your past officers.
That sure sounded like he said he was gonna put his hands on one of the officers.
Oh, yeah. Several of your past, including Officer Shaddy.
That's why I'm telling you to stand side right now. Okay? Because this is what I wanted the whole time about. Okay?
So what's being done about my son? What is being done to ensure that the order is enforced?
They've told you over and over again they can't do anything about this. You have to go to court.
Dylan, you keep asking me questions, then you don't let me answer.
Because you've yet to actually answer them. Telling me that it's being sent to the prosecutor is not saying that you guys are doing anything.
Right, I'm trying to explain to you how police practice works in this department of this situation.
So if someone robs a bank, are you going to sit there and wait for the prosecutor to say we're charging before?
Those are two very different situations. And yes, they do have to wait for that. They just respond quite a bit quicker because robbing a bank is a bit more important than you not being able to see your son when you have a restraining order put against you by the mother.
Before you go track the person down and arrest them? If I turned around and pulled a gun out and shot someone, are you going to wait for the prosecutor to say you're
I can only imagine they broke up because this is how he behaves.
Wait for them to charge me before you come track me down and find me? So you have to wait for the prosecutor's approval to do your job. Is that what you're saying, officer?
That is not what I'm saying.
So why aren't you doing your job?
I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
Because I just explained to you the crime of custodial interference, okay? We've charged it. We've asked the prosecutor if we can.
Class C it's a Class C felony. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. It's an instant up to 2 year jail time with up to $20,000 in fines.
Okay.
So if it's an instant Class C state jail felony, something immediately arrestable, and you guys are saying you're sending it to the prosecutor, why?
So
it's not a prosecutor crime, is it? It's a felony. It's a jail time crime.
Dylan,
are you guys going to arrest her or not?
Did you know that jail time requires a prosecutor to actually charge that? I cannot put someone in jail and then they're just held there without a prosecutor.
You can do what's called an investigatory hold. It's a 3-day minimum hold for the prosecutor then to decide whether or not he wants to charge her. At that point, the prosecutor, if he does not charge her, you guys are liable to release her. You guys still have a duty to perform. It is still a Class C felony. It is still punishable by jail time. You guys have clearly
You guys need to punish my ex for not talking to me.
refused to do your job, which puts it under official misconduct, which actually makes you currently guilty of committing a misdemeanor.
He's accusing the cop of committing a misdemeanor for not helping him talk to his son. He's saying the cop is committing custodial interference.
Okay.
Dylan?
So unless you want to
Custodial interference.
to turn in your badge and gun to your supervisor right now,
You might
please
want
do
to
your
turn in your badge and gun right now because you're not helping me see my son.
job.
This officer and this officer have referred felonies in the past. I'm sorry if you believe every single felony results in arrest. That is not the way it works in Washington State. It is all dependent on officer discretion. It's dependent on what the jail will accept.
Not for a felony. Not for a felony.
I'm telling you right now, I've referred many
Cool.
felonies.
So if I go over to pick up my son, because my son is not a protected party, the courts have said that multiple times. Let's see, there was the 14th of September that they said it. There was the 25th of January, the same day my parenting plan was signed in, that they said it. Only most recently, as of 2 weeks ago, did they say my son is only a protected party because his name's on the order. But at the same time, they said my son's name is only on the order because he has to be due to legislation until the dust settles.
So your son is on the restraining order against you and you expect to be able to see him. Sir.
But it does not make him a protected party just because his name's on the order. Obviously, if he was a protected party, there wouldn't be a parenting plan. Obviously, if he was a protected party, I'd have my rights signed away, right?
I agree with that part of the parenting plan. What I'm saying is
so I still have full and equal rights to time with my child. I still have full access to my child. I have my 14th Amendment right to time with my child.
Are you familiar with RCW 1031-100?
No, I'm not.
You should review it. Okay. It is the
Cite it to me.
It is the RCW that defines what crimes result in a mandatory law enforcement arrest. I can tell you right now, if you go into the RCW, which again, yes, that law is binding to me. That means if I have evidence of that crime, I have to make the arrest. Custodial interference is not listed.
You do know official conduct also puts you in a position where you're supposed to make the arrest too, right? Because otherwise you're committing a...
Okay, so he just told you that it's in his list of things that he cannot immediately arrest on, and you're like, but no, because this other thing says, even though he just quoted you exactly why he cannot immediately take her into custody.
A misdemeanor, because it says any officer who refuses to do their job when law says they're supposed to is guilty of a misdemeanor.
This department has referred her for child or custodial interference many times,
and your prosecutors declined the charge, which still puts it under your guys' purview to uphold the law.
This guy looks so tired.
Because it's not the prosecutor's job to uphold the law, it's law enforcement's job to uphold the law.
Curious, and I'm going to let you talk for a second. What would you suggest the police do if the person who's responsible for actually seeing these crimes through is not willing to take your case? What would you suggest?
Well, considering the fact that the prosecutor is not willing to properly do his job, considering the fact that he's attempting to charge me for supposedly contacting her in violation of her RO when her RO did not prevent contact, and the courts clarified that multiple times, that would be a violation of my 14th Amendment right to equal protection under the process of the law. So obviously, as a law enforcement officer sworn to uphold the law, you have the duty to make sure all my civil rights are upheld, including my 14th Amendment, which also guarantees not just equality under the protection of the laws, it also guarantees that I get to spend time with my child, because the 14th Amendment also grants those protections. So you being a law enforcement officer, you should probably do your job and cite the prosecutor and have his info sent to a different county's prosecutor who can then perform the...
That's not his job at all.
...investigation on the current prosecutor, as you're supposed to, because obviously if someone within this jurisdiction is not willing to do their job properly, it's supposed to be taken to the next jurisdiction who will, and which would either be Snohomish or Whatcom in this case.
Dylan, did you get put in jail when you were charged with that violation of the order?
No, I wasn't, but here's the thing. I was actually placed in jail 4 years ago for a supposed violation of an order. No, it's the same fucking situation. It's the same fucking shit. I got placed in jail for supposed third-party contact. That's no different than what's going on now. I was held for 24 hours. I was humiliated. I was abused. I was assaulted. I was ripped out of my apartment by officers.
There are a lot of people that claim that their little overnight stint in jail just traumatized them immensely. I wonder if he's going to pull a Shanny and be like, the cops raped me over and over.
Ely, what was done to him? He violated my Fourth Amendment, breaking into my apartment, assaulting me without a warrant? Hello, what was done to that officer? Obviously nothing, right? Then I had the charge held over my head for 2 years before it was dropped due to lack of evidence. What was done?
Yeah, I can't speak to stuff.
So I was arrested for what crime?
I would have to look at your case. I wasn't working.
There was no crime. That's the thing. So I was arrested and held for 24 hours for no crime.
They can do that. They can arrest and hold people up to 72 hours, I believe, with no crime. I'm guessing that since this is how he's behaving in this situation, that in that argument, it got to a point where they would need to be separated. I think that I may be wrong, but I think Washington is one of the states where you have to separate people in the instance of DV.
Obviously, if you guys can do that to me, you can do it to her. Even though there is a crime right now, right?
We've submitted those charges numerous times, okay? So at this point, I would like to hear what's going on today, and if you're not willing to speak about
What's
that,
going on today? I've already said it multiple times. Are you deaf? My son is not here. There's a parenting plan saying I'm supposed to have my son right now. What's being done to ensure that happens? Have you guys even tried contacting her?
It's not their job to make her come drop off your kid. If there's a restraining order against you for both her and the kid, then there's not a whole lot that they can do. They can't just like go over and be like, you have to go drop off your kid right now.
Her?
I haven't tried contacting her.
Here's the thing. Any attorney will tell you this. Contact any attorney. 4 things are all you need. There's a parenting plan, okay? Child is under age of 18. Order says I'm supposed to have my son right now, right? And she's not willing to follow it. Guess what? Those 4 questions are all you need. All 4 yeses. That enough establishes custodial interference in the first degree.
I don't think our conversation is productive, okay? I'm gonna go back inside. You are free to be here. You're right, it is a public place. However, if your behavior results in our building have to close down its normal.
What behavior? Me talking? Me talking like this?
No, I literally told you.
This is exactly how I was talking. This is exactly how I was talking. You can't trespass me from a public place. Good try, though. No, you cannot. You have no lawful authority.
What happens if they trespass him and then he has to get arrested for trespassing? Do they just take him inside at that point?
Authority to trespass me from government property. You have no lawful authority to trespass me from government property.
So, Dylan, there's plenty of case laws. When you start to disrupt a government facility,
I'm not disrupting. You are refusing.
Listen to me. They had to shut
because
down
I asked for the chief.
No, because of your vulgar language, you're yelling at them, all kinds of things. You're
Payne versus Pauley, Beck versus Upland, Johnson versus Campbell. Language and tone are not in itself is not considered disruptive or disorderly. It is not considered disruptive or disorderly. 3 different case laws. Do you want to try to cite me again?
He told them more than once to start citing case laws to him, and this guy came out with a little card with the case law on it, and he's not letting them talk at all. He's just talking over them. And I bet he's gonna complain later that he did not quote the case law to him, even though he was talking over him the whole time.
Again, or do you want to try to trespass me for bullshit shit again?
So, no longer permitted, invited, licensed, overrides, privilege to enter upon. this in place.
I meant
Cool.
because
So to go
they're
and
at
asking that
Cool,
you
try me.
trespass-
the police station. If he gets trespassed from the police station, are they going to take him inside?
for today.
Nope, not happening.
Go in and you'll be arrested for criminal trespass.
And if you try to touch me or try to arrest me for criminal trespass, it'll be your ass on the line because you have no authority to trespass me. Try me. Try me.
You're warned. Go arrest you.
For what?
They don't care about the law.
Exactly. They're not following the law. So what can they arrest me for when they're the ones not following it?
How can you argue in a case when you're in jail?
Easy. It's called a civil lawsuit. It's called a Section
That guy that gave
1983.
him a cigarette just continued to sit outside. He saw the scene going on in there, and he had to just be involved.
Oh, trust me. There will be ways. And obviously, if it was a crime, I would be arrested just for being right here because this is still on property, dumbasses. Yeah, see, they're walking away because they know they can't do shit.
They don't care about the law.
You may have to start calling him
so
Dylan.
I actually have an update on my custody case. I spoke with my GAL today, guardian ad litem for those who don't know, and basically after showing her a bunch of screenshots showcasing months and all that of abuse and threats from my son's mom and everything else, things are starting to change. She's starting to notice the inconsistencies within my son's mom's stories. So I think I've finally managed to prove my side.
Yeah, my little
obviously I still
icon
have to
here
wait
is
for
his face too.
trial come September or October-ish. But basically I finally have an update on my case, and it's some good news finally. I mean, I'm still not happy with the situation, how it's been. Obviously, I'm still currently undergoing criminal charges because of all this. I do have a ADA rights claim, though. I also have a 14th Amendment rights claim. So that's some good news. Obviously, I have to wait till everything's done and settled, though. But yeah, that's really all I have that I can say. But hopefully things go well in October. That's all I can hope for, because I just want to be part of my son's life, and I've been...
I don't think things go good in October because the first video I saw of him was in December, and he was like screaming inside the police department again.
Fighting to be part of that now for a while, and the amount of crap I've had to deal with is just unreal. Completely unreal so far. And I sit here and I'm looking at his things against the wall right now, and I'm just like, you know, I'm just glad it's almost done with. So anyway, that's really all I can give you guys for now. I'll keep you guys updated. Peace.
Hey guys, Dale Coatswine here, aka Tool Belt over on TikTok. So here's the update to my whole custody case and everything else that's been going on. Or at least what I can share with you guys. From the beginning, everything was amazing. I won't lie.
Is he starting from the beginning of the relationship?
Didn't hardly fight, hardly had arguments. You know, we had our little spats, but we got over them super quick.
I'm not sure if he's actually being alienated or not. I wish I had like the reactions from the ex. That would make this so much better. All I have is his side of the story, and I am still unsure if it's just him being crazy or if it's them both being crazy.
We got our son. We were both excited. What more could you ask for? Right? Around February of 2022, she started acting differently. And then one day she dropped our son off and went to work, and 2 hours into her shift, she calls me, "Hey, what would you do if we broke up? What's your worst case scenario?"
That's not a good sign. Oh no.
Told her I didn't want to talk about that sort of thing. I tried telling her. Didn't want to think about it. Especially after I went through with the car crash, everything else.
What happened about a car crash?
I couldn't think about something like that. I just didn't want it to cross my mind. So I tried telling her, and she pressured me into it. So finally I told her. And I knew she wouldn't like the answer either. But I told her
I'm gonna guess right now he's going to self-cancel.
she wanted to know. She pressured me into telling her. I told her, what more can I do, right? Apparently, my answer was bad enough to warrant keeping our son away from me.
I'm gonna change it. If it's enough to keep the son away, it was a self-cancel, outward cancel.
She kept telling me to fight in court again and again and again for days. I could not stand it. She got her friends involved. Everything just started going south. I tried to set everything straight. I tried being there for my son, but she wouldn't allow it. She kept putting him off on everybody else, never letting me see him, no matter how much I told people I wanted to see him. I have the messages proving that, she basically admits to cheating.
Rough.
I mean, I even caught them in the act later on, but...
Oh no, he caught them in the act? Oh my god, Dylan.
I took it to court, and basically I thought they had signed in a temporary parenting agreement that we both signed off on, and they didn't. And yeah, judge told her she was in the wrong, or sorry, commissioner told her she was in the wrong, and things basically went forward from there. Sorry if I'm spacing out, guys. I'm just trying to relax with my plants here because this is my calm space. But yeah, so I also have brain fog a lot lately, I'll be honest. So yeah, she decides, oh hey, let's get back together. apparently we were never broken up, but she wants to keep it a secret from everybody. I should have taken that as a red flag, but I wasn't thinking about it for me. I was thinking about it for my son. And that's a choice I don't regret making.
Yeah, I think the biggest part about why he's mad he can't see the kid is because that means he can't see her. I think he's really mad that he's not with her anymore, and he is trying to use the kid as a way in, and she's not letting it happen.
But I shouldn't have, because literally the whole time she kept telling me she loved me and everything else for months after. Lied to me so much, and that's the one thing I do regret getting back to her, was all the lies and the manipulation and how easy I fell for it. And people don't realize what autism is like, and I dealt with this for months. So around middle of June 2020,
He says he's autistic, and that 100% could be true, but he repeats it in a frequency where either if it is true, he's using it as a cop out, or it's not true.
Caught them cheating. And I confronted her later on that day, because I didn't want to say anything or do anything right then and there, because I had my son. We had just basically started going back to my place after visiting the park, and we were going to swing by her place to see how she was doing, because she was supposedly home cleaning her room, or at least that's what she told me she was going to be doing. Little did I know I was going to catch what I caught.
That's very ominous.
But because I had my son, I had to be the bigger person, right? So I took him back to my place, and I messaged her about it later, and she changed her story. A couple days later, I confronted her about it again and asked her why she changed her story, and she changed it yet again. She could not keep a straight story, consistent story, so I finally called her out. And what happens? She takes my son, tells me I can't see him, and claims I'm a threat and I'm a danger, all because I called her a name, and files a court order. And of course, the temporary gets granted until she can prove her case. So, of course, it gets delayed and delayed and delayed. And all the while, she's told, let me see my son, let me see my son. So I end up kind of snapping in court. I went into overwhelm because of her consistent lies and the court not recognizing it. And even though I pointed it out plainly to the court, they still refuse to see it.
That may also be an issue why they're not allowing you custody of the child, because if you're acting the way you are acting in those body cam videos when you're frustrated and overwhelmed, what is to say that you're not going to react that way to your child when you're overwhelmed? You can't just like scream at somebody if they're not doing something that you want because you're overwhelmed.
And of course, because of my overload, which they consider an outburst, all of a sudden I become the non-custodial parent and I only get visitation rights. Even though it's a verbal disorder, not a physical one. So yeah, this kind of went back and forth for a bit, but in the meantime, I actually had an order out against her husband because within 3 months of leaving me, she started dating a new guy, got pregnant by the new guy, and then married the new guy.
Oh, that means they were dating for quite a long time before you guys broke up. That may be why she was giving you different stories all the time. If they got married 3 months after you guys broke up, that's been going on for quite a minute. Yeah, I think Kyle is her husband.
And all this time, I couldn't ask her why. And that's honestly the main thing. All I ever wanted to know was why.
It's not going to make you feel better even if you do know why. She was not happy in that situation and left the situation. It could have something to do with your behavior, but it could also not have anything to do with your behavior. It could just be that she's not she didn't want what was going on between you two. Like, even assuming you did not behave the way you behaved in front of those police, she could have just not been into it.
Everybody tells me, oh, she's just not good enough for you. Oh, she's trash. Oh, she's for the streets. Like,
She's for the streets.
she's the mother of my son, a person I fell in love with. It is heavily conflicting to me, especially being on the spectrum. Honestly, the only reason why I'm mainly keeping composure is because obviously I'm trying to be friendly with this video. Although technically this is a 18 plus video. And the only reason I got the strength and courage to create this video like this is thanks to a very specific person. Although I'm not ashamed or anything of this person, I just don't want to mention them just because anybody who's gotten involved in this has been targeted and harassed, and I do not want to include this person in that by any means. Let's just say this person has been extremely influential and motivational towards me, and I appreciate them very much. Anywho, so yeah, it bounced back and forth for quite a few months up until around December. So that entire 7-month period, I didn't get to see my son. December is finally when the very first visitation schedule got put into place, December of 2022. And I shortly found out afterwards, after a few days had elapsed, I didn't get the Christmas that was ordered. I didn't get New Year's, nothing like that. I didn't get to see him until around beginning of January of 2023. I get him back for that very first time, and he doesn't even recognize me.
That's unfortunate.
His own dad. And that is just the roughest feeling to go through right there. Not having your own children being able to recognize you. On top of mourning a child still living because of a mom deciding to keep them from you.
I'm speeding up because I'm starting to get uncomfortable.
So, yeah, I got him periodically here and there for a few days in January, and his mom decides to come back, and all of a sudden she wants to get back together with me because the guy she left me for and got married to and pregnant by attempted to commit suicide.
That's a very frustrating situation. He is most definitely getting mixed signals from her.
Around my son, especially, with a firearm. And that just highly upset me, honestly. So I had a couple months with him, and the mom and I got back together once again for a bit more. Although she tried to force paternity of the other parent's kid onto me. And I was not going to have that, because it wasn't my kid. And I was not going to allow her to do to him what she did to me, because otherwise she wouldn't have learned her lesson. And I set boundaries. I did what I could. I communicated. I thought I was clear, but she kept trying to force it. And I reached out to her friends to help. And turns out her friends, even though a couple of them claimed to understand me and they're the ones I reached out to help, decided to only communicate parts of what I was saying. And so when I found out my son's mom was still going behind my back, I decided to end things. I decided to be the one.
She is for the streets. She cheated on you and then left for a different guy and got married to that guy and got pregnant and then wants to break up with that guy and is like, I need you to actually sign the birth certificate for my kid because the other guy's not around. And then she went ahead and cheated again. She truly is for the streets. Jennifer is something.
Be the one to call it for once, because I wasn't going to let her put me through it again. Not for a third time. Once is a mistake. Twice is a choice. 3 times is a pattern. 3 strikes, you're out rule. Parts of me regret it.
I'm still unclear if this man is being crazy or not because it sounds like Jennifer is doing some shit.
Parts of me don't. I couldn't have. I can't be with someone unfaithful like that.
I honestly can't. So I attempted to still work with her, though, for the benefit of our son. We did for a time, a couple weeks mainly. May 10th of 2023 was the last time I saw him, though. We were threatened by her brother at pickup, and I hadn't seen him since. And by we, I mean my son and I. And the wording he used was very specific. Walk away with that child and see what happens. You are including a child, a toddler, within a threat. On top of that, that toddler happens to be your nephew.
I wasn't talking, I was taking a screenshot.
So of course I called the cops, but did they do anything? No. In fact, in August of 2022, I had an order against her husband.
So there's another restraining order going on. What is happening between these three?
He violated it multiple times. They did absolutely nothing. He went on a Facebook live rant about autism and making all sorts of defamatory comments about me and my disorder. No, nothing. Police can't do nothing. Even though multiple people are reporting it. We can't do nothing. Even though I have an order and he was present in court when it was signed. Oh, we can't do nothing. It's not a crime. So he gets away with cyber harassment, cyber stalking, and it's not a crime.
We have a targeted individual, folks.
Drives past my apartment against the order. It's not a crime. Makes threats. Tells me I can't see my son, but it's not a crime. I have tried remaining calm. I tried being civil. I tried so freaking hard, but at that point, I snapped. Between everything that was going on, my injustice sensitivity with the autism, the ASD, the BPD, PTSD, I could not. So yeah, I've gone off and said some absolutely screwed up things.
I was just looking for the stalking and harassing audio, but I thought it was too late to play it.
I cut absolutely freaking deep with my words.
Do you realize that
I
you
am
are stalking
not
and
physical,
harassing
but
me?
mark me, I
Can you
will
comprehend
cut
that you have come out of your way to stalk and harass me? Do you know that you are stalking and harassing me? That you're stalking.
I'm not afraid to call out the truth, never have been. And unfortunately, I get bluntly honest to a fault. And when I get in those moods, I'm a no BS kind of guy. I'm ruthless, basically. And it's not even to get even. It's not out of spite. It's not out of anger. Never any of those feelings. Not even out of being upset. It's always fear.
It's always anxiety, it's stress, it's confusion. Maybe a little bit of frustration. And honestly, I don't even mean the stuff I say most of the time. It's literally just to drive a response reaction, to get them to communicate.
I don't mean the things I'm saying. I want them to react to me.
It's never to intimidate. I don't even make threats. But, you know, the moment I say something back in defense, the moment I cut deep with my words and she feels it's a threat.
Okay, so I say something to get them to react, and then they say something back. And if I want to defend myself from the thing they say back and I cut deep, it's too much.
Sorry to be dramatic with the body language there, but court's right. Especially in this state. So yeah, they arrest me for the stupidest freaking things and try charging me with the exact same stuff that I keep reporting against her friends and her husband and everybody on her side that's doing the exact same stuff to me because of her and what she is saying. Defamation. I have had my life threatened. I've had video of it. I've got photos of it. I've had to get the police involved multiple times.
Harassing me?
She has called
That
them
you're
for
stalking and
so
harassing
much
me.
BS.
You're stalking and
Claiming
harassing
things
me?
against me left and right that aren't even true. And even with all the evidence I provide, even with custodial interference, abuse of a vulnerable adult, cyber stalking, cyber harassment, plain stalking, plain harassment, like the prosecutor each and every time, no charges. The PD, we're not going to do anything. Oh, but the moment, cuffs go on.
Do you know that you are stalking and harassing me? Do you know that you are stalking and harassing me? Do you know that you are stalking and harassing me? Do you know that you are stalking and harassing me?
I have already had instances with my local police where they have taken me into the hospital against my will for an ITA that was not needed. For those
Ooh, that's a good sign that he's crazy.
who do not know what an ITA means, it means involuntary treatment, where the police believe you are not mentally stable and they take you in to see psychiatric help against your will, and if need be, drug you, which they did do to me with a medication that I am allergic to by the name of Geodon.
They wouldn't give you a medication you're allergic to if you told them your allergies.
And a month later, they also arrested me, claiming third party against an order when no third party ever took place. And now this. Especially after the car crash where my third ex lost her son. People constantly ask me, am I okay? You seem like you're doing good. You seem happy today. What is happiness? Can anybody tell me that? Because honestly, I don't know what that is anymore. I turn to my plants because this is something I'm passionate about. This is something I know for a fact I want to do for a living. And even that gets targeted. This has caused other medical issues of mine to flare up. And that has been targeted and used against me. I've been extremely harassed over it. I literally hardly leave the house unless it's to do shopping or get essential stuff I need to maintain myself, or to occasionally see family when I feel up for it. Because I'll be honest, it's still hard after that crash. And my car is not exactly in the best of shape right now. So yeah, I have not been doing okay. I have been getting by as best as I can.
I am trying to find a sense of peace. I am trying to find a sense of happiness. I am trying to find that drive, because one thing I am proud to say is I do not give up hope.
Doesn't give a poop.
That's something I've never done, and I've never once resorted to self-harm. That is something else I am proud to say I can admit. Never once had a suicidal ideation or thoughts of putting hands on others, ever. I am not a physically violent person, and that's something I am proud of. Even though I don't consider myself better or worse than anybody else out there. So it's honestly hard to say whether or not I can truly be proud of myself. But I try. And that is all I can ever do. And so that's what I keep on doing.
Yeah, that's something I noticed too.
And so yeah, that basically leads up to today. It has been over a year since I've seen my son. It has been a struggle. We had a second visitation schedule ordered on September 14th of 2023, which he did not follow. We had a parenting plan finally signed in on January 25th of this year, 2024, which she did not at all once follow. Up until just recently, I got the GAL interview, and at first it was definitely one-sided, but I pointed out that to her. I pointed out several inconsistencies within the other side's testimonies. I provided extensive screenshots of chats and videos and everything I had. Well, not even everything, like probably a quarter of what I had, honestly, which was over 100 plus photos, and like I spent 3 hours on this phone call with the GAL, and I did my absolute best to maintain composure and prove like and finally someone took notice. And that's
The
all
single
I can be grateful
tier.
for at this moment. She just released the revised report based off the interview, and I am definitely happy with the results. I mean, in it does kind of point out some of my stuff during my meltdowns and such, which, again, I will admit, I take full responsibility for. I know my fault.
All right, so he took responsibility in that one moment for the fits he's been throwing in court.
With my disability, and I do my best to control it, but that is not always a possibility for me. But yeah, so right now it's just a matter of waiting for the trial to see what the judge has to say, or commissioner has to say, depending on who it is. Pre-trial is coming up here in a few days, and then trial is just at the end of the first week of October. I'm very nervous, very anxious, very scared. Mainly because of how long it's been, and I don't know how I'm going to handle being able to deal with it if the situation, if he doesn't remember who I am again.
That is one thing that really does suck, that his son doesn't remember who he is.
I feel like I might be breaking up a hobby he's used to now.
Unless he absolutely is crazy, and I don't know.
I feel like I'm being selfish. I'm just trying to be a good dad. And that's all I can ever focus on and try to do. But yeah, I'm just waiting, I guess, to see what happens and to see what visitation is going to be like and all that, because I can't really discuss too much of what's in the sealed report that the GAL recently released, but let's just say I might be getting him very soon, and I'm also highly stressed and anxious because I don't know if I'm ready to take him back yet, because I've still got it.
Yeah, you're highly stressed and anxious. What if you have a little meltdown fit during this time when you have your son back, when you haven't had to take care of him at all up until this point?
Some organizing and cleaning to do, because I've been trying to declutter and figure out what I should do in the meantime while he's been gone, if I should sell stuff or keep stuff, and my place is kind of cluttered. It's not a mess, thankfully. It's organized clutter, but it's still cluttered nonetheless. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fully financially support it without help from friends or family. I'm not going to be able to fully use my car currently because of the condition it's in.
Yeah, I feel like they're not going to place them with you if you will need financial support from other people and you can't even use your car.
It's been an absolute struggle. And it's been even more of a struggle because of me having autism, and my son is showing symptoms of it as well, which does concern me, but at least I know because of my experiences.
So that'll make him even harder to take care of. It doesn't matter if you're autistic yourself. Autistic kids are kind of hard to take care of and not get frustrated to the point you're going to have a meltdown.
I can cope with him a lot better. I can understand him better, and I mean, obviously that's proven based off past. But yeah, that's basically the update. I'm just waiting for trial and stuff at this point. So yeah, catch you all later. Hey guys, so I'm talking about my custody battle.
I didn't know he
For
was
those of you guys
bald.
not interested, skip this video. For those of you guys who want the good news update, feel free to keep watching. So we had pretrial conference yesterday, and the GAL also released a recent statement, and the judge managed to read it beforehand. Things are not looking good for my ex at all, and it's so funny. Okay, so to start off with, here's the funny thing. 5 things I predicted when this all went down 2 years ago. I straight up warned my ex she would become homeless, she would lose her job, the new man would become abusive, she would burn all her bridges, and her lies would get pointed out in court. Well, guess what? They're currently homeless, living in a motel. In fact, they just moved to a new one recently, against the temporary parenting plan signed back in January, which is still in effect, which says she's not supposed to move without notice to either myself or to the court. Guess who did not?
What a plot twist. He is on cloud 9 right now. Hold on, let me screenshot this.
Notify either me or the court, her. And so, yeah, that put her in direct contempt of the temporary.
I think he grows
plan,
like
so I
Venus
made sure to point
flytraps
that
I
out to
saw
the
in one of his other
GAL yesterday
thumbnails.
during pretrial conference. So that's being noted for trial come October, by the way. Not looking good yet again for her. She got super huffy and puffy about that. Oh, on top of that, she has no job. She lost her job quite a few months ago. Not that she could get one right now anyways, with her being pregnant with kiddo number 3. By the way, it's not the husband's.
I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
There's an audio recording of her admitting to sleeping around the same time frame she got pregnant, so I guarantee it's not his. Welcome to the Cut Club, buddy. Oh, but yeah, I'm not part of that club, so it's just you. On top of that, here's the other funny part. The new man that she's currently with, the husband, super abusive, by the way. He assaulted her pastor. He put hands on her and attempted suicide with a firearm around my son and her, which, you know, could have put them in danger, especially considering she was pregnant with his unborn child at the time. Not looking good, is it? But yet they all lied about all of that stuff. And because of all this stuff continuously getting pointed out and all the lies getting pointed out, she just burned all her bridges. She's only got 1 witness for court. I've got like 5+. Ooh, Gee. And oh yeah, on top of that, all her lies just got pointed out in court heavily. In fact, the GAL made sure to note quite a few.
I got a couple of things to say. So he's super excited that they're homeless right now. He said, "Welcome to the Cuck Club," which he's not a part of, when she cheated on him, broke up with him 3 times, and got back together with him.
A few of their inconsistencies, both between her and him. And yeah, so things are not looking good for them whatsoever. So yeah, I'm actually super excited for trial. I can't wait. But yeah, catch y'all later. Peace. Please note this person's misguided opinions and misgivings about the situation. Yes, I may have been laughing, but was I gloating? Absolutely not. This entire situation has been super stressful to me, nerve-wracking, PTSD-inducing, anxiety-inducing. You guys don't even have a clue. So I apologize if I am a little hopeful and a little happy and a little excited that things might just finally come to light and go my way come trial time frame. I'm sorry for being just a little bit happy that I may see my son after a year. But do you...
I don't think that's why he's happy. I think he's happy that his ex is having a really bad time because she made him upset.
You notice how this person tries to deflect and make it seem like I'm such a bad person? Not at any given point does this person point out that, hey, maybe if the mother wasn't telling as many lies, my son's life may not have been put in danger. Maybe if the mother hadn't cheated, my son's life may not have been put in danger. Notice how this person doesn't even bother pointing out the fact that, hey, my son's mom...
It's even with his son's safety he's talking about right now. He seems more concerned about the fact that she's the one doing something wrong than the fact that the kid's actually in danger. She's like, it's her, or he's like, it's her fault. It's her fault for doing what she's doing. Her cheating is why this is happening.
Mom is still with this man who proved himself a danger not just to himself, but with others. Still married to the guy, in fact. Still with the guy. Still sitting there and putting blame on me for her actions. Still alienating me from my son's life. But no, we'll put the focus on how this guy is laughing and seemingly showboating or gloating. This is why people don't understand autism, because we see things in a way normal people don't. We actually focus on the overall big picture while focusing on the small details at the same time. We see everything, you only see part.
You're not seeing everything, dude, because you're not seeing how you're coming off.
Now, I apologize that you guys clearly have a misunderstanding into my disability. I'm sorry you feel the need to be so judgmental and assumptuous and presumptuous that you feel the need to judge someone based off of a short video without getting the full context of the story, even though the entire playlist is linked within the video description. I'm sorry you feel the need to apparently take sides and back a woman. Granted, the fact that it shows bias, not just against disability, but against gender, it also shows how ignorant you are as a person.
You not choosing my side is ableist because I'm autistic, sexist because you're choosing the woman's side.
And yet you want to sit there and try to make me look bad? I don't think so. So I'm creating this video to document a series of events of failure of duty and official misconduct from the Mount Vernon Police Department Skagit County, Washington State. This is including 18 USC 241 and 242 violations, First, Fourth, 14th Amendment right violations. Basically, starting from the beginning, my ex decided to take my son because I caught her cheating and simply called her a name. Wyrick or whatever.
I was trying to see on his lip here. I'm not sure if that's like a piercing or a wart or a piece of food.
A sub RCW listed that includes under paragraph 6 for developmental disabilities, it includes autism as a developmental disability. I am on Social Security disability. I am on supplemental security income. I am on state benefits.
There it is. He's not working.
Because of my disability. I'm not able to work a normal 9 to 5 job. I'm not able to socialize normally. I don't have many real life friends. I do a lot of my stuff through online. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is for me. And it's really all I have, especially with where I'm at. And it's unfortunate. And yeah, I do struggle to the extreme, especially with the fact that I have not seen my son in over a year. Anywho, keep on going. My ex kept my son for me for over a month and a half, constantly telling me, go to court and get a parenting plan if I ever wanted to see him again, all because she didn't like the fact that I called her a name and I called her out and was calling out the facts about how she admitted to cheating on me, admitted to manipulating me, and was basically threatening me, harassing me, etc. at that point. I attempted to report that to the local PD, and all they told me was it wasn't a crime. She can do whatever she wants. She can say whatever she wants. They didn't care about the actual laws. They told me if I've got
it's not illegal.
A problem with it, go to court. So on top of the PD giving legal advice, which they're not allowed to do, they're also committing the act of official misconduct, which is a misdemeanor violation.
All right, but you asked them to explain things to you. You asked them to explain the case shit.
As well as failure of duty, which is a misdemeanor violation. I attempted to go to court because for months they still refused to do anything. There is video evidence of this in the video formatted under the parental alienation playlist or custody battle playlist on my channel. June 30th or something like that, or contempt, something like that, 6/30, 2022, something like that, something along those lines. Point being is my ex called me over that day. Still no orders keeping us apart, no restraining orders, no anti-harassment orders, no custody orders existed, no nothing, right? She called me over that day. She said, if I wanted to see my son or talk about him, come on over. I go over there. The moment I arrive, there's another man there. Now, we had started putting our parenting plan into effect, and as far as I was aware, it was partially signed in. We had a temporary one signed in, but I was mistaken. But at the time, I could have sworn it was signed in. But one of the terms was no other, male interest or anything around the home for 6 months or whatever else, around the child, etc. That sort of stuff.
So he was claiming that he should be able to see his son even though she had a restraining order against him because there was a parental plan in place. And he was upset at the house because in the parental plan there's supposed to be dudes over, but the plan wasn't even signed in. There was no requirements happening.
But when I get there, after she had invited me, there's another man there. I ask him what he's doing there. You can see this in the video, and he slams the door in my face. That's the response I get. So I start asking if she was going to come out to talk. Not yelling. Didn't even go up and touch the door. And I really need to upload this video.
I'm glad he recorded himself doing it because he was like really weird doing that. He was like recording the insides of her windows, looking into her house, being creepy.
I will upload that video after I upload this one. But point being, I didn't even touch the door. I just barely even spoke up saying, are you going to come out and talk? My video cut off because my brother called, and then as soon as I start recording again, you can see on the very next video where the very first video starts, where the officer comes up and starts talking to me. It's like dark and everything else out.
I don't believe that. I believe the camera cut off because you were doing more weird shit.
It's not the body cam footage, it's my own cell phone recording. It's a really crappy video. But point being, you can see she calls an officer who arrives within basically 2 minutes. It's a 20-minute long video. What happens? This officer shines his flashlight right into my phone, trying to block me from recording. First Amendment right violation. Tries ordering me around, telling me I need to leave and stuff like this and that. What lawful reason does he have? That's not a lawful order. Pennsylvania versus Mims. On top of that, what legal reason does he have to approach me and start bothering me? Was I doing anything illegal? No, I was there to see my son. RC or not RCW, Court Rule 9.32 under the 14th Amendment. Interference with parent-child relationship. Deliberate indifference standard. That applies to this situation because rather than charge the mom for falsely reporting to the police and helping the father see his son from a mother who's alienating the dad, no, they instead unlawfully order the dad around and continue to tell the dad, once again, go to court, take it up in court.
I'm going to look it up. I think that what he's talking about is in a state that prefers the mothers in this type of situation before they do the court and all that.
Give the dad legal advice when they know they're not supposed to. So who are they helping here? The criminal, the felon, or the dad actually doing the proper route and trying to be civil and see his son? The dad who's made multiple police reports by that point. The dad who's called in multiple times about it. The dad who's tried to file multiple times, but yet our prosecutor under Wyrick, or whatever his name is, Rich Wyrick. Yeah, Skagit County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, by the way, in case you guys are wondering. All Mount Vernon contact info and Skagit County prosecuting info will be listed below. But even the prosecutor sent in an email to the PD telling them to do not file any more reports that I attempt to file for the parental alienation or custodial interference, because apparently he is not going to press forward with the charges, even though I have shown days of documents and shown clear evidence and have multiple reports over the course of months of her keeping my son from me, first without an order, and now currently as of January, considering I still have not seen him since May 10th of 2023, and we have a parenting plan signed in January 25th of 2024. It is currently November 17th, 2024. So from January 25th to November 17th of 2024, I've still not seen my son. The mother still refuses to follow the parenting plan. Paragraph 2 still makes that a felony, and yet they still refuse to prosecute for custodial interference in the first degree, telling me it's a civil matter, not a criminal matter, even though it's a clear this. But because of the fact that the PD refused to do anything, they think they're scot-free. So what happens more? Because of the fact that the PD tells them harassing me is not a crime, they go in full force. They start broadcasting it all over social media, purposely targeting me. So I get a restraining order, an anti-harassment restraining order against her husband and against her. The one against her is unfortunately denied. I don't know why, but apparently I don't have enough proof, even though posts and posts of her defamation apparently is not considered proof enough. But yet, posts and posts of his defamation is proof enough. But not only that, but you have him making threats against me with a firearm, and pictures and video of that were clearly added as well. And he only did so because of her yelling at me. So I don't know why she wasn't included with that, but the one against him was signed in. He purposely violated that order, still contacting me directly through Facebook, having friends cyber harass me. He himself cyber harassed me. He had friends cyber stalk. He cyber stalked. He also drove past my apartment within the 1,000.
Do you know that you were stalking and harassing me?
purposely violated that order, still contacting me directly through Facebook, having friends cyber harass me. He himself cyber harassed me. He had friends cyber stalk. He cyber stalked. He also drove past my apartment within the 1,000-foot rule,
That you're stalking and harassing me?
violating it multiple times.
Stalking and harassing me?
I made multiple reports to the Mount Vernon Police Department and the Skagit County Prosecutor's Office. Both said it's not a crime.
Do you know that you are stalking and harassing me? Do you know that you
Funny how the cyber harassment and all these misdemeanor charges are not a crime, especially when they're being done to somebody with autism, which is protected under the abuse of a vulnerable adult statutes. They won't charge the mom committing felony custodial interference and DV and abuse of a vulnerable adult and false reporting. Oh, but when the father contacts the mother through talking parents, like the court says, and even though the father has a recording from the court commissioner who signed in all the orders currently in place, where the court commissioner herself says there is no order prohibiting contact. But recently, the Mount Vernon PD decided to attempt to arrest and charge me with cyber harassment.
Damn.
If you look at my playlist, I have 2 other videos on my channel. One of which, where is a part 2 video where I am in the police station trying to make a report. You can clearly hear 2 officers conspiring against me in that video. I also have another video that I recorded on March 4th of this year. I was surrounded by 4 different officers, intimidated by 4 different officers for trying to file a report, a constitutionally protected activity. All of which they clearly trespassed me unlawfully from the PD and refused to take my report. So what's that tell you guys? 14th Amendment right violation, undue process of law, unequal protection of rights, unequal protection under color of law, unequal, undue. Not only that, but because you have 4 officers surround me in one video and 2 conspire in another, that's 6 officers in total. 18 USC 241, conspiracy to deprive a citizen of lawful rights. 18 USC 242, depriving a citizen of lawful rights. First Amendment right violation, freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom to criticize our government, freedom to petition our government.
All of this started because Jennifer wanted to sleep around.
9.32, deliberate indifference standard, 14th Amendment right violation. 9.29, excessive force, 14th Amendment right violation, because if you guys decide to ever pull up the body cams of this case, and I'll include the report number and case number in the links below, 8 plus fucking officers show up at my doorstep. 8 plus officers with riot shields and guns drawn for somebody with autism. Abuse of a vulnerable adult, excessive force, intimidation, mental fucking abuse. And you guys are all, as fucking officers, considered public servants and therefore mandated reporters, and therefore subject to even harsher criticism under that law. And my tone reflecting my emotion alone, my passion. You guys consider that me being out of control because I'm voicing my frustration, because I vocalize it, because I focal it through tone?
All right, standing around yelling at everybody and like talking over them so they can't get their point across to you is not just having an issue with your tone of voice.
I'm sorry,
I just realized his pupils are so tiny.
Can't control the volume at which it's at, but that just goes to display the level of hurt and the level of upsetness and irritability and stress and anxiety and fear I've been under. So the fact that you guys further do harm by tone policing and word policing just because you don't like me swearing up a goddamn fucking storm in your station, I have a fucking right to.
All right, so you were disrupting their processes by being in there and just like yelling in their lobby. They have the right to kick you out.
So if anybody out there still believes in our constitutional rights, if anybody cares about mental health, if anybody cares about the disabled,
It would have been much different if he was like standing out on the sidewalk protesting, but because he was standing in the middle of their lobby yelling, they have the right to kick him out.
I am asking and begging, I need a civil rights attorney. I would like to sue the hell out of the Mount Vernon Police Department, the city of Mount Vernon, the Skagit County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, and the County of Skagit of Washington State. For Section 18 USC 1983. Under 9.32, 9.29, 9.30 for 14th Amendment right violations, First Amendment right violations, Fourth Amendment right violations, and possibly many others. As well as ADA rights violations, and multiple RCWs, both municipal and state. And I am seeking for anybody who would like to give these guys a piece of their mind, please do so. All their contact info will be included below, as well as the
He's calling the trolls. He's calling the trolls to go yell at the police for not doing what he says.
Playlist for any goddamn proof I have. And honestly, guys, I would show you guys. I would love to show you, but I got a huge ass binder just filled with screenshots of all her threats.
This is like crazy toxic girlfriend activities. Why does he have a binder of screenshots of text messages?
And all her back and forth, and all her perjury, and all her contempt. Two and a half goddamn years worth. And I am just hoping and praying that something gets done here. I need help. I am desperate. I am not asking for finances. I would start a GoFundMe, honestly, but I'm not about money at this point. I definitely want to get the fuck out of here, and I will do so if I win a lawsuit, because I can no longer stand to be in this area. The Mount Vernon PD has caused me severe PTSD and has only been furthering it. This entire situation about not seeing my son, and now this bullshit charges in violation of my 14th Amendment is bullshit and has been furthering my PTSD. So would I like to eventually get the hell out of here? Yeah.
But right now, I've got more important matters. I need to get my rights to my son established, and I need to get my son back. I need to get my visitation back first and foremost. On top of that, I need to make sure the Mount Vernon PD and the Skagit County Prosecutor's Office knows who they're fucking with, because I will not.
You gotta know who you're fucking with. These cops don't know about this man.
Not tolerate my rights being violated, nor will I tolerate the bullshit from them anymore. They better get their fucking act together. Thank you for your guys' time.
All right, everyone. Mount Vernon PD. As you see here, this is the Mount Vernon Police and Court Campus. I'm here to follow up with a report that I filed against Officer Shaggy for his clear violation of my civil rights. Also here to figure out why these guys are refusing to do their jobs. How's it going? Cool. We can speak inside since it's cold and raining out.
We'll speak out here.
No, we can speak inside.
We'll speak out here.
This is a government building. This is a public lobby. You cannot prevent me from entering. Thank you. Hi.
I want Nal to do a video like this where she walks down to the magistrate to report everybody to the FBI.
I'll speak with them in just a moment, but I do have a question. Can I get the case numbers printed out for all the reports I filed against the Mount Vernon PD officers, please?
You can request cases online.
Online requires entering my personal information, and I'd rather not do that because under the Fourth Amendment, we are guaranteed to not have to give that information if I don't want to. So I would like to submit the FOIA request without having to surrender my Fourth Amendment rights.
You can fill this out.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I've already said we can speak in here. You got a room right here that we can use. We have a room right here we can use. Or we can speak in public lobby. Must have told these guys I was on my way down. Apparently they don't know I'd rather speak in the public lobby because look at this. Camera, dome. Cameras all over in here. I think they just don't want to admit accountability is what it is. They think I'm going to speak to them out there in the cold where they're going to freeze me out. They're sadly mistaken.
They want to talk to you outside because every time you talk to them, you start yelling.
Out there is just as public as in here. And I know what their plan is. They want me to do it out there because if I start raising my voice, they can try to use the businesses around me to solicit a disorderly. It's a good underhanded tactic, but it won't work, unfortunately. See, right now, they're currently in violation of 9A.80.010, official misconduct of a public servant. So if you can inform them of that, that'd be great, because I'm not going to sit here and have my rights deprived. Well, I already have informed them that I would prefer to talk in here where it's warm. If they're refusing, that is their willful refusal, which is a violation of 9A.80.10 of official misconduct of a public servant. So pretty good. How are you doing, Sergeant Maxwell?
So rather than here, all your business here. step into this room here and have a conversation. You can on your phone, or we can step outside and have a conversation.
Oh, we can go in the room there. I don't mind. I've already suggested it to him here. I kind of already had a feeling you guys knew I was coming because the one officer probably reported it as he drove by, correct?
Well, that was me that was driving by. I was going to Facebook for traffic
Yeah.
violation.
Yeah, but I kind of figured you kind of already let them know in advance. So,
Okay, what can I do for you, Dylan?
so I've got some paperwork here
Okay.
because I'm here to follow up on some stuff.
Okay.
Because first and foremost, you guys attempted to file charges against me for trespass when I was here conducting lawful business on March 28th of this year. That was Officer Shaddy who requested the trespass and Officer Cohen who issued it, or Sergeant Cohen that issued it. And he should know better, especially as a sergeant, that that is unlawful to trespass a citizen from public property when they're there for lawful reasons, conducting lawful business. And the fact that they trespassed me just because the front desk lady didn't like the fact that I called one officer a dumbass. Beck versus Upland, Payne versus Polly, Johnson versus Campbell. Language and tone of voice, especially when directed at an officer, is still considered free speech. And language alone, such as swear words, do not condone disorderly conduct. So it's sad that they sat there and tried to charge me with that in violation of my 14th Amendment right and First Amendment rights, which, by the way, thanks to Officer Robinson and one of the phone calls I made with him, in which he spoke to me, he even clearly admitted that the other three officers wanted to arrest me that day. Under 18 U.S.C. 241 and 18 U.S.C. 242, that is clearly conspiracy to deprive a citizen of rights, and considering the fact that they refused to take any of my reports that day, that is a clear deprivation of rights under the First and 14th Amendment. So I would first and foremost like to know what is going on with my report that I did file, and I know for a fact I made multiple phone calls.
I love how loud this cop's face is.
Against Sergeant Shaddy, or Officer Shaddy, and the other officers for their official misconduct under 9A.80.10 and their willful refusal to enact law, which also is another gross misdemeanor, might I add.
That's a good question. To give you an update, I don't know yet, so I'd have to find that out.
Is there a reason I was not given a case number when I made that report, as per your policy?
I can provide you with one.
I would like that. That's part of the reason why I'm here, to get all those case numbers.
Perfect. Which case numbers would you like? Just that date?
All the case numbers for all the calls I've made against all the officers for their official misconduct. I would like the status of the reports.
I want to make sure I get this.
That upside down smile.
Well, your
is
body
the best.
cam should still be going, but it looks like it's not.
No, it's not.
I don't see the red lights.
Mine's on. That's why I hit it. So, I want to get this right. Case numbers for all the calls.
Yep. Investigation status reports.
Just specifically against officers or just calls?
Well, just officers, as well as against the prosecuting attorney, because he is a public servant by definition under law as well. And considering he has also willfully refused to file the charges for the reports I filed, that also puts him in violation of law too for 2 misdemeanors, both failure of duty and official misconduct, as well as 18 U.S.C. 241, deprivation of civil rights, considering he has clearly violated my 14th Amendment against undue protection and unequal treatment under color of law.
Okay.
And the fact that your guys' officers still refuse to report against him too, kind of disgraceful.
So we're looking for case numbers on all those. Both officer complaints and prosecutor complaints or prosecutorial misconduct.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm looking for.
I would also
Look at those little nubbies.
like an update into the investigation and charges of Jennifer Hartman, my son's mother,
for her clear parental or custodial interference under 9A 40060, paragraphs 2 and 3, considering she held my son, and I have evidence of that here with me, without lawful order or reasoning, for months refusing to let me see him, clearly making threats to get a parenting plan if I wanted to see him again. Go ahead.
I was curious about, is there a parenting plan currently?
There is currently a parenting plan in place, which, yes, I am, which makes it a violation under paragraph 2, a lawful court order giving residential provisions. A parenting plan is such order as defined in legislation under State versus Vilas. However, paragraph 3, which was also created under that same RCW because of State versus Vilas, which was a 2019 case, by the way, contains the clear narration that if there is no lawful order preventing contact, and one parent keeps a minor child from the other parent with intent to deprive access for a protracted period, it is still a Class C felony under RCW 9A 40060. Again, that's paragraph 3. There was no lawful court order at the time. I have clear proof here. Wouldn't be kidnapping if I don't leave state. Take me to court. I'm fixing to take you to court.
But I want to stay friends. I can't really read a lot of it. You kidnap my son. I take you to court. No, if I take you to court and I say no to you going to Tennessee, you will never be allowed there without my prior approval or anything. And that could take a lot longer than 2 years. It could take till he turns 18. This is him to her. And then she says, and it wouldn't even be kidnapping if I don't leave state yet. And you know what? I don't have paperwork in front of me from the court.
If I don't leave state.
He's just going to use you for sex. I guarantee you it. Take me to court. Let me spend my time with Luke while I can before you rip my damn life apart, because I'm telling you right now, badmouth him one more time. That's just what you think. Just leave him out of it. If you were my friend, you wouldn't say anything or you wouldn't be saying that shit.
Take me to court. I'm fixing to take you to court because you're pissing me off.
Dylan, are these her and
Yeah, Jennifer Hartman. See the picture here? Mine are all over here. Hers are here. Mine are here. So this is my message. This is my...
I am the birth mother. You don't pay child support. You said some fucked up shit. Yes, I want my son. I want to be able to see him. And yes, you are. But I am his father. What are you going to do to make me... Or what are you going to do? Take me to fucking court. Try me. I don't pay child support because my income doesn't do that. If you can't pay child support, how are you going to take care of the kid?
My message. Hers, 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 hers. Look at this. Take me to court. Take me to court. Look at this.
You either respect my wishes or I'm going to get seriously pissed. Yeah, you have to ask before you come over.
Take me to court. Take me to court.
You wanted to say all that shit about Luke and then change your mind? Yeah, no, I never said worst case. I was asking because I didn't have feelings for you, so I appreciate it if you let me fool the fuck down. Yeah, whatever. You either respect my wishes or...
I'm gonna get pissed.
These correct dates right here back in
Yep. February 18th, 2022. I've made so many reports over the past 2.5 years, and each and every time I've got video of Officer Von Dyke telling me it's not a crime. I'm sorry, but can she not read? Does she not go to school? Is she a lawyer? Here's a question. Why is it when I just called and got off the phone with Officer Ocampo, he's telling me to contact the prosecuting attorney about this? Is he allowed to give legal advice? Is he a lawyer?
Telling someone to call a lawyer is not legal advice.
Those are rhetorical, but because I already know you know the answer to those, or at least you should. So I think you know. It's clear that I understand. Take me to court. We can talk in court.
Okay, can I recap just so I have the information that you're requesting right, so I can get
Mm-hmm.
that right? Okay, so what I got on my notes is we're looking for cases related to complaints of officers and prosecutorial misconduct. So we're looking for the case numbers on those.
Correct.
Case numbers, so you can have those provided to you. And specifically, March 28th was the date you mentioned, right?
Mm-hmm. Because that's the day I came in. That's my video from when I came in to last attempt to report, the day that they unlawfully trespassed me and clearly conspired against my rights. There's also December 27th, 2023. I do have video from that as well. I tried to come over. I was speaking with one officer out here in the parking lot. Officer Shaddy pulls up halfway through the convo and starts telling me it's not against the law. It's not a crime. She can keep my son from me without a lawful order and without lawful reasoning, apparently. So she's allowed to commit a felony, is what he's saying. She's allowed to break the law. And then on top of that, you have body cam, which I've already FOIA requested from that same day from Officer Shaddy, where him and Officer Von Dyke clearly conspire against my rights after both coming out here because you guys always want...
No one is conspiring against you. They literally can't do what you're asking them to do.
Me to speak outside, which I'm well aware is a tactic because of my autism. If I start getting escalated tone, you guys try to use that for disorderly. Good try, but that itself is not enough for disorderly, as I've already covered. Considering the fact that it's outlined here, in fact, page 23 even. Let's see here. This is the GAL report for my custody case. April 3rd, 2024, Mount Vernon Municipal Court, disorderly conduct, found not guilty.
Also stalking and harassing.
So it's clear your guys as officers don't properly know how to handle the law, let alone handle somebody with disabilities. 74.34.020, paragraph 21C covers developmental disabilities, which lists a subsection under 71A. Paragraph 6 of that RCW contains developmental disabilities and defines autism as one of them. Are you aware of 74.
This guy's trying so hard not to laugh at him.
4.34.020, paragraph 2C and D?
I'm going to say you're probably well more aware of it than I am.
Covers mental abuse and personal exploitation. Did you know the willful inaction to act explicitly when it comes to law, or the willful inaction to protect a disabled individual, is actually considered a form of mental abuse? Ridicule, yelling, swearing, etc. at a disabled person is considered a form of mental abuse and therefore considered a gross misdemeanor. D covers personal exploitation.
causing a disabled individual to act in a way inconsistent with relevant past behavior. The meltdowns and such that you guys have been witnessing because of my ex keeping my son from me without lawful order, her clear harassment, her husband's clear harassment, their clear violations of court orders that you guys refuse to enforce, saying it's not a crime. And you wonder why I had experienced meltdowns. And then you guys want to arrest me over it. Did you guys charge Kyle Hartman at all for his violations of his court order that I had against him?
Sorry about that, docs, buddy.
Protecting me that he had knowledge of? 22-1. No, I want to answer on this one.
I'd have to look.
22-1-20810-29 is that court order, I believe. He violated it multiple times, drove past my apartment, committed the act of cyber harassment, cyber stalking, had third parties contact me and harass me. You know what I was told? Oh, just go to court, get another restraining order. So he can commit cyber harassment, which is a felony, and get away with it. Your cops can give legal advice, again, without actually enforcing law and protecting a vulnerable adult. But it's kind of funny. I have a court order against me protecting my ex from me, and vice versa, me against her protecting me from her. She can deprive me of my right to see my son. She can sit there and use that to harass me and disturb my peace, which is apparently not a crime and not a violation of the order, even though the order prohibits it, which is also an act of domestic violence. So she can get away with violation of the order.
What? Keeping the son away from him is a form of domestic violence, he says.
But yet when I contact her, as told, don't make any threats. Yeah, sure, I may have wished ill will and said some harsh things, but that's my First Amendment right. No threats were ever made. But yet you guys try to charge me for cyber harassment and all that, and then you tack on DV? I'm sorry, but isn't that a violation of my 14th Amendment, considering you had knowledge of Kyle Hartman, her husband, doing the same thing and both them violating court orders?
I'm curious, were you charged?
Yeah, I'm charged, but not found guilty yet. It's still pending trial and all that stuff, so I'm not convicted. It's an open case, yeah, which means I can still easily counter you guys and file for a civil rights deprivation lawsuit, unless you guys want to drop it and settle. But that's up to you guys and your prosecutor, and obviously your prosecutor seems fit on violating my rights as well. So I don't know where to go on that. Maybe I should file against the city and the county and you guys and him, and you know, because the deprivation of rights is clear. 9.29, excessive force, for example, under the 14th Amendment. 8+ officers showing up with riot shields, ARs drawn for a person with autism, known to not be aggressive, known to not be violent or hostile unless he's clearly defending himself. Yeah, no, I know that face. You had an instant referral to the ITA back in February of 2020, and I'm well aware that you're aware of that. I know that's what the flashback came for, and you're also aware of the fact that that ITA was found unlawful because even the hospital says it was a misunderstanding. You have conflicting reports in that document. 2 officers said I was depressed and suicidal. 1 officer said I wasn't. So
Actually, what I was gonna say is I was unaware of the shield thing, so I was kind of curious of when that occurred.
Oh yeah, that quite a while. That was July 25th of this year.
July 25th.
Yeah. And then you had Sergeant Martinez laughing about it openly in front of my neighbors as I went on to declare how it was a violation of my 14th Amendment. 8+ officers heard it. 8+ with body cameras.
Did you see him swallow the laugh?
Officer Reed? B. Reed. I'm guessing her first name's Brittany. Kind of funny that the cell I was in also happened to have Brittany plus Dylan 8:45 written or engraved in the mirror too.
That's not a coincidence.
Yeah, especially considering it had my first name and her first name on it.
Very odd coincidence. Okay. Can I recap with you? Just so I have it. So I got the case numbers. I got the...
You have evidence even right here. Look at this. Did you follow me to Robbie's? Because if you did, I'm not going to be happy. You can see it before. You can see him tomorrow before I leave for work.
That's it until stuff gets settled in court. February 20th, 2022. Mm-hmm.
The notebook here is very well organized.
That's because this is my evidence binder for my parenting case, all of which contains evidence has been previously submitted to you guys that you guys have continuously refused to prosecute and said is not a crime, even though the law makes it clear it is. Parental alienation, are you aware of that? It's when the government starts aiding a parent in depriving a citizen of their
Are you seeing him blink with one eye at a time?
parental rights under the 14th Amendment.
So let me ask you
9.32, 14th Amendment, parent or interference with a parent-child relationship.
Okay.
Subjective standard under Part 2 for the deliberate indifference standard, which is willful inaction to enforce court orders, file reports based off custodial interference as per State versus Vilas, etc. So the fact that your guys' department clearly gave legal advice by telling me to go to court rather than enforcing the law when they weren't supposed to, the fact that you guys willfully neglected and refused, the fact that it is clearly documented over the past 2.5 years with video, text, etc. What do you guys plan to do at this point? Do you guys, I mean, how do you guys want to proceed? Do you want to put me through to your internal affairs review board, put me through with your admins? Because I mean, it's clear I have enough to file suit, so we can settle outside of court. I've tried being civil, even though your guys' officers treat me as if I'm not, but that's why I'm saying, who do you want to put me through? Because I'm saying we can be civil about this. I'm recording it, you're recording it, so it's clear on both
Every
ends,
time he
so.
blinks, the one eye comes open
clearly
first.
But here's what I'd like to do, because you've given me a lot of information and I have a lot to digest. I want to take this, if you're willing to stand by for a few minutes here, to my admin to figure out exactly where we're at, so I can coordinate with them to make sure that we're all on the same page, and that I provide you with accurate, clear information so that no muddy water. And in order to do that, I need to make a couple of calls and talk to a couple of folks.
Okay, and is there also a reason why some of your lieutenants, including, say, Lieutenant Green, have been ignoring my calls willfully for months, and why when I call the direct line to the PD,
He's stalking and harassing the cops.
they willfully ignore it, but yet dispatch lines me through every single time? Because that's also a clear deprivation of civil rights under the First Amendment. You cannot willfully ignore a citizen. I don't care if you guys have issues with me or not. I'm a citizen of this state and of this county and of this city. You guys have a duty to perform, an action to follow, and your willful neglect of that is still a violation of the law, which I will not allow. I am autistic. Part of having autism is extreme justice sensitivity in some.
So he read that off the Google, right? I think that's like the 5th or 6th thing.
Some of us. And coming from a military and police family, mom and dad were both Desert Storm. Grandfather was Vietnam War. I have another grandfather who was chief of police of Cedro for 13 plus years, as well as a sheriff and state trooper over in Spokane. So you tell me, you honestly think that I'm happy with the department? You guys make it seem like I hate cops.
Something that I really don't like in a lot of like body cams I've watched outside of this is people think that knowing somebody that currently is or has served on the police is like a threat to anybody else. Just because you know somebody doesn't mean that you can do whatever you want.
I don't like the fact that you guys are willfully neglecting your duties and mishandling this entire situation, just for the record.
I appreciate you. For the record, can I check in on this?
Yes.
Give me a few minutes, give me about 10 minutes, and I'll check back in with you so I can have time to look at what we're talking about here. In the meantime, if you come up with anything else, feel free to notate it, and I'll come back. We'll go from there.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
I'm gonna wait in the lobby in the meantime because there's more cameras out there.
That's fine. Yeah, you want to sit on the side there?
Yep. Okay.
Oh, I got hopefully some answers for you.
Sweet.
Okay. before we get started, I'm going to give you this because I don't want to forget to.
Okay.
This is Lieutenant Green's desk number. Right here. I don't know if you have that already.
I think I might, but I also have his email, so.
Okay. That's his desk line. The 1404 is his extension.
Appreciate it.
If you need to call him and get a hold of him to reference something specific, he can be reached there. If he doesn't answer, leave a voicemail. He'll get back to you.
Okay.
So I'll start there. Okay, I'm going to run down my list of that you gave me and try to answer where stuff's at, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, here's where I'm at with let's start with prosecutorial misconduct. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That first one. Do you want me to write this down for you?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you okay. So I know with the autism, disability, I don't know anything more about autism than I'll be perfectly frank with you.
Your department needs clear training. It's been made obvious.
So,
in fact, the entire justice system here needs it.
So where we go with that is with the prosecutorial misconduct. Let me say it right. That all is handled by the Washington Bar Association. They actually have a website that they provide a place where to file a complaint if there is a complaint such as yours, and they will provide assistance to folks who struggle to provide that complaint.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is. I'll be perfectly honest with you. It was just the research done on the website. So that's at wsba.org. I'm going to write it a little better than his handwriting because mine's a little.
That's fine.
ba.org.
Sorry to cut you off really quick. Is there a reason why the Attorney General's office told me that Skagit County has apparently no internal investigation review board? Or at least not for the
Is it big enough to have one?
SPD?
I don't know the answer to that.
Do you guys have an internal affairs review board?
We have a process that we would go through, yeah.
Do you guys have a separate agency for internal affairs, though?
If there was I guess to answer that question.
Or do you guys investigate yourselves?
If there was a conflict or if it was, there would be criteria that we would farm that out to another agency.
So that brings up kind of a question then in regards to the past stuff, but we'll digress on that for now.
Okay.
He's gonna digress too.
Any of you have any questions about my handwriting? I'll give you that. So that was the first one. So we got that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The second question that you had was in reference to where are the cases with Kyle Hartman. Can I jump to that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with Kyle Hartman, because he's an adult, I can't release that to you, but it is available.
I've already done public records. I've already checked the court's website. I've already done what I need to do. He was never charged, never fined, nothing. In fact, it never hit the prosecutor's desk.
According to who?
Prosecuting attorney. Well, at least his assistant. They have no record of that.
Okay. I'll have to dig a little deeper to get an answer on that. Okay. We'll stick a pin in that one.
Even then, because you guys, as officers who swore oaths to the Constitution, because your department, especially Officer Shaddy, had prior knowledge because I've reported it to him. He has been aware, he is aware, he has knowledge. Because he still refused to file or anything against Kyle or make sure he was prosecuted and instead still went after me for the exact same thing, but told me it wasn't a crime when it came to Kyle, that's still a deprivation of my rights. And considering, again, I have the body cam between him and Officer Von Dyke, as well as the incident from March 28th, that's still a federal charge against him. It's still official misconduct, a gross misdemeanor, failure of duty by a public servant, a misdemeanor.
Okay.
It's also ADA rights violations and probably multiple other statute violations as well under both municipal and state.
Well, as you said before, I can't give you legal advice, so I'm not going to do that.
No, but you're aware of the law and your duties, especially as a striped member who is above him.
We will get down to that one. The pending cases for you. Those cases are, and I don't know if you're aware of this or not.
Officer Shaddy still has the ability to drop them as the main officer who filed said charges. He has every reason and every right to be able to drop the case completely if he so desires.
So you want me to answer?
Considering, well, I mean, you can. I'm just saying.
These cases have moved, and where they're at is what I'm being told. I should say that first. What I'm being told, because I haven't physically laid eyes on where they are. What I'm being told by my administration is those cases have moved to the Superior Court. They are there with the prosecutor there. And so that portion of things, even if Officer Shaddy said, we're dismissing the case, that's now up to the prosecutor to dismiss the case.
Your body cam's still on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The second question that you had was in reference to where the cases with Kyle Hartman. Can I jump to that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with Kyle Hartman, because he's an adult, I can't release that to you, but it is available.
I've already done public records. I've already checked the court's website. I've already done what I need to do. He was never charged, never fined, nothing. In fact, it never hit the prosecutor's desk.
According to who?
Prosecuting attorney. Well, at least his assistant. They have no record of that.
Okay. I'll have to dig a little deeper to get an answer on that.
All right, guys. So as you saw, Sergeant Maxwell said Kyle was charged. Funny, because this is public records website right here. Okay. Now here's the thing. 8/3/2022. That's when I originally pulled out my order against Kyle Hartman. It was granted. 10/31/2022. That's when it was dropped because of the fact that the PD was not respecting it. 12/27, 5/26, 12/19, 1/10, 2/20. Those were all my attempts at filing a new one, all of which were denied. Nowhere in that time frame is there a municipal court record. However, you can see he does have priors with the municipal court and with Skagit District Court, as well as with the Burlington Municipal.
This guy is real mad that Kyle stole his girlfriend. Jesus.
Municipal Court. This shows all of Skagit County records because this is Skagit County website. So if it did appear within the municipal court during that time frame, it would have appeared here. So unfortunately, Sergeant Maxwell, it's clear I can do the digging a lot quicker and a lot easier than you can in the short amount of time frame that you were back there, because this took me all of 2 minutes to pull up. It took you 10 minutes to lie to me. How shameful of the Mount Vernon PD. Completely disgraceful.
How's it going? Cool. We can speak inside since it's cold and raining out.
We'll speak out here.
No, we can speak inside.
We'll speak out here.
This is a government building. This is a public lobby. You cannot prevent me from entering. Thank you. Hi. I'll speak with them in just a moment, but I do have a question. Can I get the case numbers printed out for all the reports I filed against the Mount Vernon PD officers, please?
You can request cases online.
Online requires entering my personal information, and I'd rather not do that because under the Fourth Amendment, we are guaranteed to not have to give that information if I don't want to. So I would like to submit the FOIA request without having to surrender my Fourth Amendment rights.
There is nowhere on the order that it says no contact. That is not a civil protection order. It is a restraining order, and there's a big difference.
Okay. I will contact them again and...
All right, Dylan Coates and Jennifer Hartman, 22-3-8029. We are here on a few matters. Mr. Coates is on Zoom. Ms. Filler is on Zoom. Ms. Ryan is on Zoom. Ms. Hartman is here in the courtroom. Good morning.
Things here that we are trying to at least get fixed today is in regards to visitation with my son, because as I've attempted to make notice to the court, and as Ms. Hartman is well aware, her current restraining order, because it still contains my son's name, makes him a protected party. And so regardless of the parenting plan, law enforcement
will arrest me should I have visitation with my son, period.
He's so close to understanding it, man. It's going right over his head.
That's just legally incorrect, Mr. Coates, so I'm not going to
That
be
is
amending
something
the
we should
restraining
probably
order.
talk to the PD about then, because of the fact that this is not what they are telling.
And, Your Honor, I can clarify because I've actually contacted the Mount Vernon Police Department, and they said Luke is a protected party on that.
He is indeed. As
And
many
so-
children are on restraining orders, and the restraining order does not say no contact anywhere on the order at all. It says refer to the parenting plan, and the parenting plan allows for visitation. This is
The
simply
PD
not accurate.
not enforce the
He is a
parenting.
protected party. That is very true. There is
Okay.
nowhere on the order that it says no contact. That is not a civil protection order. It is a restraining order, and there's a big difference.
Okay. I will contact them again and clarify that with them.
If you read
So that-
every single word of that order, it does not say no contact anywhere in it.
That's what, but yeah, I'm being charged for contacting her through email for that very same order.
So the parties are going to need to get each other served with their motions. I can't address anyone's motions unless there's proof of service.
You have the messages showing her
He cut that off so quick. I want to know what the attorney said.
to court, which is her threats under RCW 9A
That's not a threat.
406.
That's not a threat. It's her legal right to take you to court.
Tell me to take me to court if I want to see my son again?
That's not a
Oh, it's her legal right to do that? It's her legal right to keep my son without a court order? Let's just see about that here. A parent or other person acting under the directions of a parent is guilty of custodial interference in the first degree if the parent or other person intentionally takes, entices, retains, or conceals a child under the age of 18 years and for whom no lawful custody order or order making residential provisions for the child has been entered by a court of competent jurisdiction from the other parent with an intent to deprive the other parent from access to the child permanently or for a protracted period. Custodial interference in the first degree is a Class C felony. Well, let's just see here. Me, since I
Damn.
couldn't see him today, can I at least see him for 5 minutes tomorrow?
I was hoping I could see the picture of her.
My son's mother. Did you follow me to Robbie's? Because if you did, I'm not going to be happy about it. Let me restate it. You can see him tomorrow before I leave for work. That's it until we get stuff settled in court. February 20th, 2022. And she made good on that threat. She kept him from me for over a month and a half, forcing me to file a parenting plan within court. Well, let's just see something else here, officer. Another Title 9A criminal code, 80010. Public servant is guilty of official misconduct if with intent to obtain a benefit or to deprive another person of a lawful right or privilege. He or she intentionally refrains from performing a duty imposed upon him or her by law. Gross misdemeanor. Failure of duty, 42-2100. If you don't do your goddamn job and enforce the law, it's a misdemeanor. But, you know, it's apparently perfectly acceptable for her to commit a Class C felony and for you to not do your job, right? Yeah, thought so. Hey guys, so I just wanted to give this update video. A lot of you guys are asking for an update. A lot of you guys are being supportive. I really appreciate it. It doesn't mean a lot. To the trolls out there, no, I am not doing this for clout. No, I am not a normal auditor. It's not something I normally do. If anybody watches my content, normally I grow carnivorous plants. I raise sea monkeys. I go longboarding. That's me. I'm autistic. Having the spotlight on me is not something I want, per se. It's not my thing, okay? I'm a background character. I'm an NPC. Don't mind me kind of thing usually. But absolutely, I want help and support for my custody battle. What else can I do? I'm a father desperate trying to fight for his son. What else can I do, right? Anywho, to those asking for an update and further info on a potential lawsuit or anything like that. I plan on doing another audit tomorrow, first and foremost, at least. I have contacted the Attorney General. I have contacted my legislators for my district. I have contacted the ADA, Northwest ADA Center. I'm trying, guys. I'm doing everything I can. I've called attorneys up and down the coast between civil rights attorneys, family law attorneys, etc. I can't afford it. I don't want to do a GoFundMe. I don't want to have to rely on others for finances for that stuff. I know I probably should. If I do, I'm probably gonna have my mom do it for me because I'm not about to run that. I wouldn't know the first thing.
Gotta have mommy do it for him.
About doing it. I do plan on doing another audit tomorrow. I'm going to go to the PD. I am going to cite some of the RCWs. One of them is 10.31.100, which under 2A, it basically says an officer has no choice. They need to make the arrest.
Sorry, this one's so long. I know it's almost been 3 hours, but we're so close to the end. I want to finish it.
If one parent is in violation of Chapter 9A.40, that is within the language. Under 9A40060, paragraph 3, as I've pointed out in prior videos, it is a violation for one parent to keep a minor child from the other parent with intent for a protracted period when no lawful court order exists. The PD is well aware of the fact that for a month and a half, they refused to make the arrest based off of that RCW. There is currently a parenting plan signed in on January 25th that gives residential provisions. Therefore, under 9A40060, paragraph 2, it does mean if my ex withholds my son from me during the visitation tomorrow, I will be going straight to the PD directly after the 11 a.m. pickup time frame. If she does not show, I will be citing those RCWs for the audit, and I will be pointing that out, how they are supposed to make the arrest within the 24 hours, and it is mandatory. On top of that, I will be showing them the 14th Amendment page, which is the 9.32.
So what he's planning on doing is if he can't see his son, he's going to call everybody and tell them how to do their jobs.
Which is particular rights, 14th Amendment, under the deliberate indifference standard. The willful, repeated an official's failure to act or whatever else like that can, when an officer causes harm to a parent or child, acts or fails to act, it's under the deliberate indifference in it. I'll include all the links for all the RCWs and the 14th Amendment stuff in the description below. It's all public. But yeah, just be prepared for another audit video tomorrow, potentially live. I might go live. I don't know yet. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got, guys.
This one's titled Willful Refusal Part 1. That's awesome.
Hey, Don.
How's it going?
Hi. This is the binder.
Elemental. Hi.
Hi.
So this is his other stuff, but this was his last restraining order. That was for the each
July
other
26th?
restraint. Yeah.
This is the expired one?
Yep.
I guess that one supersedes this one. This one.
Apparently, according to the DV order, it doesn't because it's under a different cause number.
Can I finish these ones? Anywho, I don't know what you guys want to see. There's all these, I mean, everything is parenting plans and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, this one was, this was the last one that we went, so October 28th, and now we go back on Monday for contempt.
The second?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But the mother was instructed to have Luke at the church.
Okay.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays for me to pick up, or a lay person.
On the 28th.
Oh, even before then.
Right.
So for 2 years.
But also on the 28th, right?
Well, the parenting plan, dated January 25th, 2024.
And then I bought the Odyssey for $25, where Commissioner Shan's telling her she is to meet there.
Okay.
So I went the next day.
Yeah.
Officer K came out and did a report.
Okay.
Went the next day, and this is my 10th time. No shows this month. I'm coming from Boulevard.
Roger that.
And
That's a lot. That's a ways out. Yeah.
And 10.31.100 under paragraph 2A makes it a mandatory arrest because you have probable cause now, and she has knowledge of a parenting plan issued under chapter 9A.40.
Then,
Earlier, he was using the term cop-splaining. He didn't want them cop-splaining everything to him, but he's in here with a binder full of stuff with a lawyer, I'm assuming this lady is, Like, this is how you do your job, guys.
The one, I don't know. I'm gonna try to pull up the Odyssey recording.
Yeah. I would love to record that on my camera. Is it on an app or?
It's on the Odyssey, but I had to buy it for $25.
Do you have like a copy of the file that you could submit to me electronically? Would that like upload to Axon? Do you think?
No, the court recordings will not upload to Axon.
well,
In fact,
I can record it on this.
I recorded it and sent it to officer. Okay.
Okay.
I have tried that. That's why I emailed it to you.
Gotcha.
Record audio. Here we go.
There's some sort of electronic protection on it, basically.
Gotcha. Yeah, probably because it's within the app. Yeah. It's yeah, there's something on it.
I'd like to indicate on the record as well that the record does not indicate that Ms. Hartman was served with a motion of declaration for contempt. So go ahead.
She actually was served.
The thing talking about, I didn't have all the paperwork here.
That is exactly what I was given to submit to Ms. Hartman. And I did take it down to the Mount Vernon PD, and they said that they could not submit it because it wasn't a restraining order or so I went back to the court. The court clerk then told me I worked on the same one all 3 times. That they couldn't do it, even though it was a judge appointed statement to say it had to be served by the police. I then went to Burlington Police Department. I understand that law enforcement wouldn't serve it. That's a law enforcement issue. We don't have the ability to get involved with law enforcement. And I understand that you emailed her and she's here, right? I was trying to determine whether or not she received the motion and the declaration. She didn't. Is exactly what the court clerk gave me to email to her. Okay, well, and that was also Ms. Ryan. She has to be served also with the motion and declaration as well. But she's here, so we'll print that so she has it. We'll have the 10 minutes reflect that she is here. She received notice by email. So she has it. We can have a hearing on the merits of the matter after she's received notice. Attempting to address Mr. Coates' issues here in court once the procedural issues have been met, which is that she was given notice of the hearing. She was given notice, but she doesn't know what is found. She doesn't know what the underlying claims are. And so she needs to be able to respond to that, just as Mr. Coates would be able to respond if a motion was brought against him, because he would not want to have the court rule without being given an opportunity to respond either. Understandable. Yeah. So I printed those. You're welcome. There is an issue, it sounds like, with the parenting plan. Yes, it's not being followed. It has not seen this child since it was put in place. And Alyssa Ryan is the JAL, and she was going to be here, but something happened to where she couldn't be here. The trial was postponed because there was a criminal trial, and a 3rd trial got bumped. But she is trying to get a hold of Commissioner Crandall to put her suggestions in place. I'm not sure why she would get a hold of Commissioner Crandall. She has to put it on the calendar and not get a hold of it. Traditionally, Thursdays from 11 to 5. Criminal claim against him. Okay, that's fine. Then the
Person. It was black, or it was a gray area, so there's really nothing he could do. So he submitted me this long letter saying basically it's not his hands.
And I've actually personally called all 3 people on that list of the authorized court-appointed people. Every single one of them refused because it's not worth their time to go there for 5 minutes in the morning to facilitate a drop-off and 5 minutes at night to facilitate a pickup for $300+ per person for 5 minutes per day. So that means I've already spoken with them. It's $300 for the pickup, $300 for the drop-off, $300 twice a day, 3 times a week. On a $1,000 income for a Social Security recipient, you think I can afford that? Court already is well aware of that factor. So that is a court-appointed issue right there. Jennifer Hartman has knowledge of the parenting plan. She knows what day she's supposed to appear. She has knowledge. 10.31.100, 2A, a police officer shall arrest and take into custody pending bail, PR, or court order a person without a warrant when the person has knowledge and has basically violated Chapter 9A.40. That's the arrest without warrant statute. So it's within the language stating that it's a mandatory arrest. You have to make the arrest.
Everybody knows I'm a 30-day late person.
She has knowledge. She's in violation 9A40060, paragraph 2. If there is a court-appointed order giving residential provisions under State versus Vilas, that's defined as a parenting plan. Therefore, it's a mandatory arrest if she doesn't follow it.
She wasn't at the drop-off today.
No, she hasn't been there for the last 10 days.
She hasn't been there for the past year.
Yeah, even since this hearing.
So it's a felony.
I will tell you guys, and I talked to Lieutenant Green, I talked to Sergeant Maxwell.
Yeah.
I'm not denying. But all this has started because he hasn't seen his son in 2 years.
Mhm.
I mean, if you haven't seen your kids in 2 years, wouldn't you kind of be the same way? There's all these,
but yes, I can
there's all
certainly
these
see your
dead
Especially if somebody took your kid and the police turn around and told you it's not a crime.
So, and it's like, but also, I mean, there's paperwork that specifically says layperson, I'm in here.
And keep in mind, I've got body cam from Officer Shaddy where he says it's her legal right to keep my son without a court order. Paragraph 3, 9A40060, without a court order, it is a felony. So what gives Officer Shaddy the right to tell me she has the legal right to commit a felony?
And I did talk to the House reps. What was his name? He writes his representative here. What's yours? Senator, your guys' rep for this area. Anyways.
There's 3.
Say the names. Rickard. And he himself sent me a whole bunch of different places to file charges.
Yeah.
So the AG's office, civil division.
Yeah.
The governor.
Yeah.
I've sent letters to McCann.
Mm-hmm.
He's just, I haven't heard from him.
Okay.
Of course, I sent one to Officer K.
Sure.
This is getting redundant and ridiculous. She should be arrested. The 9A, is it the 9A code?
9A40060 is the custodial interference. 10.31.100 makes it a mandatory arrest.
You guys know that's the exact same code. Sex trafficking, kidnapping. That's the exact same code for those two. My grandson is being kidnapped. He's being kept against the will of his father.
As a means to commit the act of mental abuse towards me and interrupting government functions, which under 9A40020 makes it a kidnapping charge.
Since I'm only put together on the words stuff, can you just get it out, please?
Can you hold this, please?
I don't want to be called this.
Well, too bad.
This is one I put together for evidence. No. You don't know what I want. Here.
Was this supposed to go with this?
Is his lawyer wearing sweatpants and an Adidas jacket?
It's at this point kind of all out. Okay. GL report. It is confirmed that Mr. and Ms. Hudson were not entirely accurate. Sorry, I don't have that much. Entirely accurate of the information they provided. She's claiming here that Ms. Hartman does understand how to manipulate Mr. Coates, so she's pushing every single button. And this is from Alyssa Ryan.
Has the court made a comment on that?
No,
Not yet.
We were supposed to go to trial. I say we because I'm his GL.
Trial was originally supposed to be in May.
Yeah.
Court screwed up on their filing, which pushed it to October. October was delayed due to a criminal trial. And now we're waiting till April, even though we were supposed to have priority and it was supposed to be done by the end of this year.
What's on the second?
Contempt for perjury, for the lying, for the moving without notice, for the violation of the parenting plan, for the violation of Kyle Hartman's order.
And it sounds like you guys have a pretty good argument for that.
Well, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what our arguments state. It doesn't matter what the court does. You guys are still required by law to make the mandatory arrest under 10.31.100 under paragraph 2A, which states you shall make the arrest. It's arrest without warrant. It's in your guys' RCWs. It's in the law. And if you willfully refuse, that's a violation under 9A.80.010 for willful refusal to enforce the law when imposed. It is under the law. There is a parenting plan. You guys have more than enough probable cause here. You have knowledge. She has knowledge. She did not show. It's a clear felony. I want her arrested at this point.
Okay, you split your case. Now, yes, we have court on Monday.
Yeah.
Most likely, because she's probably going to be not contested. Always happens. She had 6 weeks to file.
Can you explain that to me?
After 1 month, she can no longer file.
The courts agreed that you have made the case that she's not doing the exchange and they have found her.
They keep telling us to go through you guys. You guys keep telling me to go through them or the prosecutor.
We're trying to hear this out.
You're very passionate about this, so try to
I've tried telling them this I don't know how many times. They don't want to listen to me,
Let
apparently.
me talk, because I'm a little bit more calmer.
I am calm. I'm sorry my voice doesn't reflect that. That's a bias against disability.
I think you're doing good.
We talked about your and I don't. I'll never hold that against you.
Martinez does, Shaddy
they're
does,
not
Von
him.
Dyke
They're not
does.
him.
I understand, but
Okay, what is your
Okay, so when we first started talking, I understood about the serving the motion. Was it a motion to amend or
Motion to file contempt. So
Okay.
what I apparently
Did
didn't
that
get.
eventually get served on eventually?
Yes.
Okay.
Which
In
is
the
why we
court?
have court on Monday.
it's kind of funny because
However,
she
is
did
supposed
admit to being
do a
served.
response, and that's why the court gave her 6 weeks to do a response. Court's on Monday, we haven't received a response.
If she doesn't respond, the courts indicate that they will find her in contempt.
The
Or
paperwork
did
just
they
says
warn her?
they may, that paperwork says that she could be held in contempt.
And keep in mind, RCW 9A40070, paragraph 2 states that it is still a misdemeanor even in absence of a finding of contempt.
So the commissioners, we've seen Shan, Crandall, Judge Burge, Judge
Nesweski.
Kyle, Judge Nesweski, and that other judge, I can't remember her name. So we've seen 6 different.
Riquelme, or
Yeah.
Riquelme.
6 different higher ups over there. And each and every one, I promise you, says you need to go report it and have it done through the Mount Vernon Police Department.
Judge Stiles is the only one we haven't seen because he would be conflict of interest due to my grandfather's familiarity.
Several times. Are you aware that we have sent the charges to the prosecutor today?
I was told that, yes, that it's probably.
If you did a public disclosure request, you will find that there are numerous cases where we, on Dylan's behalf, have attempted to send charges on her and the prosecutor continues to.
So he's committing a willful refusal even though it's imposed by law?
I know you're Brittany, and he knows who I am.
I'm not worried about any of that right now.
I grew up with him. My brother Sean and all. Something like that with paintball, and ever since then.
Yeah.
It's not like my family.
Our
I grew up
grandfather's
with
chief
his
of police,
sister, you know.
Cedar Woolley, 13 plus years.
So, I mean, I know he doesn't prepare video. I know, and that's my wife said, he's provided more than that. And but I did go to find out what, because he was just sheriff in Eastern Washington, he was civil chief, he was sheriff in Park City. So I did go over this.
Yeah.
He did stuff like that.
You know how many videos of this I posted online?
I mean,
Communities
At least 3 hours worth.
not happy either.
for sending an email, but she doesn't get arrested now.
I know personally, Officer Robinson and I have never arrested Dylan. And obviously we don't completely know the facts of what happened in that
Well, it was
instance.
against the restraining order.
It was about the restraining order?
Yeah,
Or
he
was it
broke-
a restraining order violation?
It was a violation of the
Because I said some harsh things to her over talking parents that were not threats. Because according to the cyber harassment statute, it must contain intent to harass or intimidate. Harassment as defined by law is the threats to harm a person or property and the intent to carry it out. Intimidation is the act of imposing fear upon someone to coerce them to do something they normally would not want to do. And me stating, I know it's in the wrong, but I was in a meltdown caused by this situation, a medical emergency, okay? The fact that I was pushed into a meltdown because she's not following the parenting plan and because you guys don't want to do your jobs for over a year, and then I get arrested for cyber harassment. Was Kyle Hartman ever arrested for his cyber harassment when he violated my order?
I'm not aware of that.
He was not. I've been told by multiple officers, even Sergeant Maxwell here the other day told me that he was charged, and it was on the municipal county's prosecutor's desk.
Kyle was charged?
Yeah, that's according to him. But when I pull up on the court records, and I even posted a video of it online, he's never been charged. There is no municipal file, no Superior Court file, not Burlington, not Skagit, nothing.
How do you post it online? Do you like
initially
Screen record and-
like voice over while you do that?
Mhm.
Fair enough.
So it's kind of funny how it took 10 minutes for a sergeant, a striped sergeant, to lie to the public, especially lying to a victim of a crime.
Yeah.
Kind of,
I don't know what he was looking at.
what's your guys' policy on duty to intervene?
How do you mean? We have a duty to intervene.
Yep. So,
I mean,
for example, the other day when 4 officers were here surrounding me, who intervened? Officer Robinson was here. Did he not have a duty to intervene when 3 other officers were intimidating me?
I'm not going to be able to speak to that, Dylan. And you know that because I know you know I wasn't there, right? It sounds like you would have some knowledge of that, but that's not really something I can answer.
So why still the failure of duty then?
Failure of duty in what sense?
10.31.100, paragraph 2A makes it a mandatory arrest. Not just today. Ever since it was signed in, 10.31.100 makes it a mandatory
You
arrest.
would say every Wednesday, Thursday.
Every Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Sorry.
from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. She has knowledge of the parenting plan. She knows. We've had plenty of visitation schedules that she's refused as well.
Outside of the Tuesday.
We had visitation scheduled entered December 11th, 2022, 9/14/2023, and now the parenting plan on 1/25/2024, all of which have gone unfollowed multiple times. According to legislation under State versus Feliz, a restraining order plus visitation schedule is not a valid court order. So under paragraph 3 of 9A40060, without a lawful court order giving residential provisions, if one parent keeps a minor child from the other parent with intent to deprive access, it's Class C felony. When you have her messages from February 20th, 2022, you can see them for 5 minutes. That's it until we get stuff settled in court. That's clear willful intent to deprive me of access to my child without a valid court order. That's a Class C felony. 10.31.100. Violation of 9A.40.
The charges over.
Does it matter if the charges get sent?
Sorry?
Does it matter if the charges get sent?
I'm talking about in the past.
Does it matter?
Does what matter? The charges get sent. I'm asking you a question.
I don't know if they got sent, but does that matter?
Because I know we referred her for custodial interference, but do you know
What does the language state?
I'm not able to.
10.31.100, paragraph 2, a police officer shall arrest and take into custody. That's not an option. It's not a choice. That's not saying wait for the prosecutor. It's mandatory. You shall arrest and take into custody pending bail, PR, or court order. So why do you have to wait for a prosecutor for a mandatory arrest? Do charges matter in that?
The question I was asking was
I'm not,
from the-
that doesn't matter. What does the language state? It's a mandatory arrest.
No, it's not, and I'm looking at it right now.
10.31.100, paragraph
I'm
2, and then if you look at section A, it states under chapter 9A.40. Look up 2A, Mom. So you could see at the very top, it says under.
Oh, that's
paragraph-
not even his lawyer. He brought his mom down to the cop shop to talk to him.
See, chapter 9A.40, which covers custodial interference.
Here.
Chapter 9A.40.
She came down here. I would love to talk about this. I just want to get through this. It won't take a minute. Okay. She came down here and we were asking, right?
How many times do I have to cite the law, though?
I mean, I would say you're a professional.
I do my research. I do my due diligence. I'm not a constitutionalist. I'm not a normal auditor. But when I have to do this stuff, hang on. Look.
Dylan, if you're gonna come over here and be loud, I can't
Under
hear you.
A, go back up to A.
We've already gone through that.
So you see the chapter 9A.40? Okay, now when you click on that, oh, what's 9A.40060?
Oh, don't be a jerk.
Custodial interference, kidnapping, 9A.40060. It's right there in your RCW, and you're willfully passing it and refusing to. You just willfully ignored the 9A.40 chapter under paragraph 2A.
Okay, Dylan, he's trying to explain this to me.
So it's talking about protection orders issued regarding those crimes. It does not specifically say if it was saying that we had probable cause and mandatory arrest for the crime of custodial interference, it would be listed in addition. That encapsulates like 10 different crimes. That's not what that means. So that's being misinterpreted.
It's not being misinterpreted.
We can disagree. I want to get through this with your mom. Okay?
So she willfully has been refusing contact.
Mom came down to help him, and even right now, she's tired of his bullshit.
I'm not trying to cut in. I'm trying to explain. So let me finish. 2A makes it mandatory.
I think she's willing to hear you out. And so is Officer Roberts, and so am I. But there's process, okay? And we're just being asked that you'll let us do our part of the process. Truthfully, the faster we can get through it.
So him willfully bypassing the law.
Bypassing it.
He's
He's showing it
If
to
I know
me.
him, he's going to be very thorough.
10.31.100 2A. 2A. It literally says it under chapter 9A.40. Law.
And I can appreciate you coming in here, and I can appreciate you coming in here. Because, like I told you before, I don't have any children, but if I had children and I was in your position,
he has kids.
I would be
Dylan.
just as frustrated.
He can't speak for him.
I
He's
can't.
speaking for himself. So
I'll
listen.
wait till Officer Robinson gets back. Okay. And then we can continue our conversation.
You don't have to talk.
Why do I need to let them try to right here?
Yes, but what you do with your camera is.
It doesn't matter. If I take their body cam, I'm still going to post it to YouTube. It's still going to get posted. You're still in public. I understand your feelings, Mom, but it doesn't matter. It matters the fact of the law. The law doesn't care about people's feelings.
Okay. Did you read all that, RC?
10.31.100. A police officer shall arrest and to take into custody a person without a warrant pending PR, bail, or court order when the person has knowledge, blah, 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 9A.40, 9A.40060. Custodial interference in the first degree. A parent of a child is guilty of custodial interference in the first degree if a parent keeps a child against a valid court order.
I came down here to help you out. Quit cutting me off.
I'm not cutting you off. I'm just tired of these guys not doing their jobs.
They are doing their jobs.
Not according to the law.
That's why I
If 10.31.100 makes it a mandatory arrest and they're refusing, what does 2A say? Shall arrest and take into custody.
Be quiet for a minute.
It's mandatory.
Okay. Here's your RCW 96 or 9840, right? I went off your email.
RCW 10.31.100.
Where are you recording from?
Because I want this scene to.
I asked what it said, not for you to record it.
Okay, go to 10.31.100.
I can't.
So your phone's connected to our Wi-Fi. You have to go in and like accept it, or just take the phone off.
It's off Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Oh no, it's not.
Yeah. If you haven't done the accept,
10.31.100.
Okay.
2A,
Has been issued, of which person has knowledge under chapter 7.105. So show me.
of which the person has knowledge under 2644063 or chapter 9A40.
Okay. Don't record.
Told you he willfully ignored it.
He didn't willfully, because this talks about a domestic violence protection order.
Or chapter 9A40.
Okay, I'm going into that. Calm down.
I've already read out 9A40060 to you.
He was talking to me. You were being rude.
I wasn't being rude. I was pointing it out because he was trying to tell you otherwise. He was trying to basically willfully tell you that it's not a violation. He was trying to.
Where is it at? Be quiet.
060.
Oh, would it be kidnapping in first degree? Though?
Yep.
The relative of a child under the age of 18 or of an income. I cannot read.
Paragraph 2, Mom.
I still can't read. A parent.
If a child
The parent of a child is guilty of custodial interference in the first degree if the parent takes, entices, retains, detains, or conceals the child with the intent to deny access from the other custodial parent having the lawful right to time with the child pursuant.
I wish I could see the body cam of this last little section of this video, because it seems like he's trying to like snatch the phone out of the mom's hand, and she's so tired of her shit.
To the court order making residential provisions.
which is a parenting plan.
For the child and intends to hold the child permanently or for a protracted. Thank you. Period, or exposes the child to I cannot read.
Subsequent risk or harm.
Or physical injury.
The
causes child
ITA.
to be removed from the state. The ITA. There's no
Kyle
ITA.
Hartman, when he attempted suicide with a firearm in front of my son. That exposes him to substantial risk of serious
A parent
physical
or
harm.
other person acting under the direction of the parent is guilty of custodial interference in the first degree if the parent or other person intentionally takes, entices, retains, or conceals the child under the age of 18 years, and who
No lawful custody order exists.
order.
So that goes back to the very
Mine
start.
is right there.
I am right. Yep.
Read that. There we go.
Again, go back to 9A or 10.31.102A. It literally says it. Or under chapter 9A40.
I should name you like Jen, because it's shorter than Dylan.
Interference. When you go to 9A40060, covers custodial interference in the first degree. Paragraph 2. A parent of a child is guilty of custodial interference in the first degree with intent to take, entices, retain, or detain a child pursuant to a court order making resident that exposed him to risk of serious injury.
When was that?
It's in the language. It's not a.
We disagree.
A police officer having
This is not
probable
what we're
cause.
disagreeing on.
Yes, I.
For her moving.
Felony in flight. Yep. Did she give me a indication that she was moving, or the court? She was told to by the court.
The court any indication
Nope.
at all?
And she
How
was
did they
told
come
to by the
across-
court.
How did they come across that information then?
The GAL, because she's not at the West Winds anymore. You guys know she's not at the West Winds anymore, so she moved. Do we have to wait for the court to
I think that in
push
this
for a violation of the
I
law?
think this, in this case, we are.
No.
We're waiting to see what they rule. Yeah.
So we have to wait for rule on the custodial interference. We have to wait to rule on the kidnapping.
I don't know that they have yet, have they?
Do they have to?
Have they?
Do they have to?
I'm asking you if they have.
Do they have
And
to?
it seems like this case
Is ignorance an excuse for the law?
It seems like no, it's not. You know that, Dylan.
Exactly. So why are you willfully refusing to enforce the law?
I'm not refusing to.
So 10.31.100 makes it a mandatory.
Dylan, we talked about this.
10.31.100 makes it mandatory, and 10.31 makes.
I'm not gonna.
So it's mandatory. So you're.
can continue
Are
to
you
recite our-
refusing to make an arrest for a felony crime?
That's not what I'm refusing.
Are you refusing? I am
know you
asking a
feel
question
that-
here.
I know you feel that right now.
It's not what I feel. It's what is written in law. Are you refusing
you
to
feel that that's
enforce
what's written in
law?
law. Okay.
Are you
I'm not-
refusing?
I'm not trying to tell you that I'm refusing, though.
So what's with the excuses?
I'm not making
Is it a
any
yes or a no? Yes or no then?
There isn't an answer
Yes.
to your question as you're asking.
Shall arrest and take into custody.
Yes.
So she has knowledge of a
How many
parenting
How
plan?
many times have we looked at that?
She has knowledge of the parenting plan. You heard the court recording. She has knowledge of the parenting plan, right? She knows she's supposed to be there at 11 to 5, right? So she has knowledge. You heard the recording. You now have probable cause. Without warrant on probable cause, shall arrest and take into custody.
Turn it off. There's a reason.
Hang on.
All right. So for those of you guys who've been following along
Thanks for the support. For those of you guys who haven't, I'm currently going through a massive custody battle. This is part of my explanation as to what's been going on and how the laws apply, since I keep getting asked and since trolls keep coming up. This is to also address some of them. One of the things I keep getting mentioned is, oh, it's not against your constitutional rights. Well, Ninth Circuit Court website here. I am within the Ninth Circuit. Washington State falls within the Ninth Circuit. Civil jury instructions. Section 9, Civil Rights Action under 42 USC 1983. Scroll down. 9.32, Particular Rights, 14th Amendment, Due Process, Interference with Parent-Child Relationship. Deliberate Indifference Standard. Deliberate indifference standard applies in situations where the officers who caused the harm to the parent or child acted or failed to act in a situation when actual deliberation is practical. When officials have time to make unhurried judgments and extended opportunities to do better, but unreasonably allow harm to occur, then their protracted failure even to care can shock the conscience, thus giving rise to a substantive due process claim.
That seems more like a DV situation. That seems like when someone fails to arrest somebody and then later someone gets abused.
Custodial interference in the first degree. We have currently a parenting plan issued January 25th, 2024. That still has yet to this day been followed by the mother of my child. She has held him for a protracted period against the parenting plan, which, as you see here, says residential provision order. Under the court case State versus Velas, this is case law, a parenting plan is considered such an order. Under paragraph 3, a parent or person keeping a minor child away from the other parent with intent to deprive access permanently or for a protracted period when no lawful court order exists is still guilty of custodial interference in the first degree, making it a Class C felony. Did you follow me to Robbie's? Because if you did, I'm not going to be happy about it. Let me restate it. You can see him tomorrow before I leave for work, but that's it until we get stuff settled in court. Intent to deprive access for a protracted period. Keeping a minor child from the other parent without a lawful court order. At that point, there was no form of restraining order, DV order, residential provision order, anti-harassment order. There was 0 orders between us at this point. She kept him from me for over a month and a half, and then following a few months later, an additional 7 months. That is a protracted period. That is clearly a Class C felony, intent to withhold. Officers knew about this, and they currently know about the parenting plan. My ex is aware of this, and she currently knows about the parenting plan. 9A80010. A presumed to cause physical harm. Okay, look at this. Hey. Mandated reporter includes law enforcement officers. Hey, guess what? Neglect. A pattern of conduct or inaction by a person or entity with a duty of care that fails to provide the goods and services that maintain the physical or mental health of a vulnerable adult.
All right, so now
or that
he's
fails
just
to
like
avoid
taking random stuff.
Hey guys,
twist.
so update on the whole parenting plan, parental alienation stuff. We had court on the 2nd. The only thing they did was change the parenting plan to allow for the GAL's recommendations. They did not drop any of the restraining orders, even though I made it clear I wanted mine dropped that day. My ex still refuses to drop her restraining order. And because of the way her restraining order is written, I still cannot see my son because my son is listed as a protected party, and according to Sergeant Martinez, Officer Pash, Officer Ocampo, Officer Shaddy, Sergeant Cohen, Officer Von Dyke, Officer Livingston, Officer Layton, multiple others, I will be arrested if I have contact with my son because it's implied no contact. Not to mention, the only way she can get to or from the PD, which is now as listed as the pickup and drop-off point, is by vehicle. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed anywhere near the vehicle. That's what it says in the order. So even if I could be around her, I can't be around the vehicle. Even if I could be around my son, I can't be around the vehicle. She is now showing up to the pickup and drop off. She has for the past 2 days. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to see my son because she still refuses to drop the order. Here's the real kicker. After keeping my son from me for 1.5 years, she gets to walk away with a simple slap on the wrist and a $100 fine. Only for moving without notice, because the missed visitation portion has to wait till trial. Still. And trial is not until around April to May of next year. And unfortunately, her restraining order is valid until September 14th, 2025. So I basically have to either wait for trial or wait till September 2025 when my son will then be 4 years old. All because she still refuses to drop her order to allow me to have visitation with my son. Now, the court has stated that the only way for her contempt charge to be removed from her record now is to follow the parenting plan. Well, in order for her to follow the parenting plan, she has to ensure that I get visitation with my son. She thinks simply by showing up to pick up and drop off that she is following the parenting plan. She's not ensuring visitation because she still refuses to drop her order, which she knows implies no contact. The police have informed her. I've informed her. I've had attorneys even confirm it. Because my current defense attorneys over the stupid bogus charges I'm facing because of that order have even stated to me it implies no contact. So she gets away with a $100 fine. I still don't get to see my son until who knows when, and she gets away with it. And the funniest part is she literally lied to the judge's face. And I even called it out. Even the guardian ad litem called it out. And they still didn't do a damn thing about it. Perjury is a Class B felony in Washington State. Just goes to show how screwed up the Skagit County justice system is. Peace. Hey guys, so I want to give an update on the whole parental alienation, custodial interference, arrest. It's part of my whole parenting case ordeal. So, as I stated before, I went to court on December 2nd. The judge ruled that I'm supposed to still have time with my son as per the parenting plan. My ex was found in contempt for moving without notice. As for the missed visitation for not following the parenting plan, still, that's going to be pushed forward to trial as well. So, all the missed visitation stuff is awaiting for trial. Thankfully, still, she was found in contempt, partially at least. Unfortunately, even though she was told to still let me see my son, she still didn't for 2 weeks. So went to court on the 17th, and Commissioner Shand finally wrote up an order of clarification and even stated that my arrest should never have happened, because there is absolutely nothing prohibiting contact. There is nothing prohibiting communication. There is nothing restricting either of the two. The only thing that was said was we are to use talking parents outside of in-person communication, because of the fact that the courts wanted things to be able to be kept on records without certain somebody being able to delete their messages or, you know, say, well, I didn't see them or whatever else. And, you know, so yeah, basically I was wrongfully arrested, as I explained to the PD multiple times. Unfortunately, our government doesn't care. And even though I told my defense attorney this multiple times, my defense attorney wants to sit there and play me off as if I'm paranoid and is trying to push for a mental psych eval or mental health evaluation in order to get the charges deferred, trying to use my autism as an excuse because it's convenient for them. Funny how when I explained how my actions are caused by the same disability, it's not an excuse for that, but they can use it as an excuse to show how biased they were to try to get charges dropped. Wednesday and Thursday were the first days I was finally able to have my son in over a year, and I had an absolute blast with him. I have enjoyed my time with him. I cannot wait to see him again on Tuesday. Christmas Eve, unfortunately, is just going to be a nice, quiet day here. He's not going to have a whole lot of presents because, unfortunately, due to the restrictions of the parenting plan, making travel arrangements to go see the rest of the family is difficult. Plus, thanks to the false arrest, which includes a DV charge and a felony charge, it would prevent me from basically going on base to even visit my sister, take him to meet his cousins, etc. So, unfortunately, thanks to this whole unlawful arrest, my Christmas is still unfortunately ruined, as is my son's. All because the police were biased, didn't want to do their jobs properly, and unfortunately, my son's mom chose to be a liar. And unfortunately, the courts refused to press her for perjury, no matter how many times I prove it, even when she does it in court and she's called out right there. Keep in mind, perjury is a Class B felony, and custodial interference is a Class C felony. Notice how she commits actual crimes, not once gets arrested. I don't commit a single crime, and I'm arrested for 5 days and charged with felony and DV. Make that make sense, people. Anywho, catch y'all later. Peace out.
All right. Thank you for staying to the end. Sorry that was such a long one. I needed to get to the end of it since we were so close. I'm going to find an outro real quick.
We're beyond fucking Gucci, YouTube. Beyond fucking Gucci.
Touchy crop on my Glock so that shit stay bust. Chugging on that meat and huffing that duster. I'm that young jail bug eating food that's disgusting. CEO this Cobra shit. Ain't no room for this guy shit. Drunk as fuck. Trip.
Fuck my fucking cigarette.
Got a concussion. Top of state, apple grip. Delta 8, I'm huffing. Bacon grease in my cup. Ribs in the oven. Rip Bob Barker and Rip Puffers.
Look what I got. Pinwheels, fried chicken, pinwheels. Oh shit, we got pinwheels and fried chicken. Oh, motherfuckers already know what's really good. Oh, motherfuckers know what's up. Pinwheels and fried chicken.
I'm about to double down. All you trolls in trouble now. I'm that other fucking homo chatter that you heard about. Baby, I'm a talk about. And she get your dentures out. Spider left her right in front of my cutter, then I back it up out. This is my baby. I can know my rotten teeth. I'm cheddar and you got beef. Fuck you bitches, make zombies. Bud Light, Pipe Meat, KFC, Bush Beach, DoorDash me out fish and cheese.
We're beyond fucking Gucci, YouTube. Beyond fucking Gucci.
Man, I'm not stalking you. I'm too fucking busy for that shit.